wanapanga maandamano, ati wanataka vijana wa kufanya maandamano, ati wanataka vijana wa kufanya fujo, ati ile mpango kubwa wako naye. Nimewasikia kwa makini wanawaambia vijana, nyinyi enda mtafute kura, mkuje mtupigie kura. Mimi nataka niwaambie, hata kama hawa vijana watatafuta kura ya kupigia maslahi yao. Hawawezi kutafuta kura ya kukupigia wewe ati ukue bwana mkubwa, na hawa vijana huna mpango yao. Mimi nimewauliza na bado hawajanijibu, si ndio? Si wale jamaa nimewauliza nyinyi, sera yenu ni gani? Mpango yenu ni gani? Agenda yenu ni gani? Ati agenda yao ni kuondoa William Ruto. That is the only agenda they have. Hawana agenda ya vijana. Hawajui vijana watapata ajira namna gani, hawajui vijana watafanya biashara namna gani. Wale watu tunawaambia, msitubebe ufala bwana, wasitubebe ufala. Hamuwezi kukwepa kutuambia agenda yenu ni gani, kwa sababu tunawajua. Kwani wale watu ni malaika wamefika Kenya juzi? Si tunawajua wale jamaa zote? We know all of them. We know them, we know their capacity, we know their intellectual capacity, and we know wako chini sana. Ndio, they cannot develop any plan. That is why they are hiding behind one term, sijui Kasongo, sijui Masigo, sijui nini. Hapo tutawafurusha mpaka wasimame hapa vile nimesimama hapa nikawaambia vijana wa Kenya, tuko na mpango ya nyota, tuko na mpango ya digital jobs, tuko na mpango tunatekeleza ya housing. They must stand on a podium and tell the young people of Kenya what their plan is. Ni kweli ama si kweli, my friends?
So when we say we are going to bring this country to order, we mean it. Disorder has been the order of the day. Yaani kutukana viongozi wenzako, kuwatukana tu, matusi, na kujipiga kifua. Ukijipiga kifua kusema utashinda na kura 2 milioni 3. And you know the truth, as Fred has said. The truth is, as we speak now, William Ruto has no chance of second term. That is the truth. Ukweli ndio huo. In fact, the way we are seated here, it's a clear testimony kwamba if shetani hata ingia katikati yetu, there's no way William Ruto will become president next year. We even know zote wale ambao wanapanga, the extremists in his government, trying to advise how hata kama wakishindwa they will not accept. Now tukiwa hapa kanisani, Reverend James, tukubali tusema, we know you're even planning kwamba tutakushinda na utakatalia pale. Now, this is not ordinary election. This is a Gen Z inspired revolutionary election. Ndio tunasema kwanza hawa vijana wenyewe watakuwa mstari wa mbele kuhakikisha that unfinished business, kwamba even as we speak hakuna mmoja wao amelipwa ridhaa. Walikuwa wamekubaliana na ODM kwamba by March next month, leo ni tarehe 1 February, watakuwa wamelipwa ridhaa. Nimeona akisema nao atapatia pesa National Human Rights Commission. We are told them in the first place what you are doing was unconstitutional. And the president of the Law Society, Faith Akajiuzulu, and then he is left there with a very unfortunate situation.
Basically, it's a process. It's a process that first of all starts with the intention to want to register a party. Mm-hmm. So you express that intention that you want to register a party, and so you come to the office, and then we give you the preliminary stages. Mm-hmm. And some of those preliminary stages are, for example, reserving a name for yourself. Mm-hmm. What would you want to call yourself as a party? Yes. What will you want to be your symbol? Mm-hmm. What will you want to be a slogan? So that then those are put within the check in terms of what implications do they have. Yes. There are some words, for example, you cannot publicly use because then they are offensive to the public. So there are a lot of checks to find out that these are acceptable terms,
Yes.
whether the slogans or the name of the party. So that's the first phase of registration. You
Right.
reserve a name for yourself, and we give you a certain period of reservation, about 90 days to reserve, so that then you're able to prepare the other stages of writing a constitution for yourself.
Right.
You have to submit a list of the founding members, who are the people proposing to register this party. And that again goes through process. Like this is all to respond to the Article 91
Okay.
of the Constitution, which actually gives the parameters of what a party should constitute. So when you submit, for example, you say, Peter, John, James are going to be the founding members of this party. You submit to us that information. We then submit that information to other organizations for purposes of ground check to make sure these members are people of integrity.
Yes.
I mean, Chapter 6 is a big deal.
Yes.
And so it goes to EACC, it goes to NIS to just do the ground check of the founding members.
Okay.
And then when that is complete, we now tell you to start the next process, which is, how do you want to govern yourself? You have to, come up with a party constitution.
Right.
That provides how the party will run. And then from there, you will again have to give us, how do you want to present yourself? What is your ideology? What do you want to represent as a party?
Okay.
So that again is taken through a process. We look at it, we refine it. You give us some of the rules that you want to govern you. So you do all that for preparation for just a provisional registration. After you have complied with the basic requirements of establishing the framework, establishing the operational principles of the party, then we give you what you call a...
We search for what really matters, the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. Introducing Patricia Wayoa, and this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Patricia Wayoa, and this is Generation Report, your weekly news roundup show on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
Yes, good evening and welcome to the Generation Report that is about to start right now from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tonight, being the 7th day of February 2026. Karibu niseme 2028. Yeah. Yeah, this is the 7th day of the second month of 2026. So karibuni sana. It has been a great week so far kufikia sasa hivi, and that is why we are here to make sure that we are going to give you a review or a breakdown of the big stories that happened in the course of the week. Tonight I'm joined by one Winnie. She's gonna introduce herself, alafu atuambie kwanza, atupatie frequencies zetu watu waweze kuingia kwenye kipindi.
Good evening, our listeners and also our viewers. My name is Winnie Maganga. This is the voice you usually hear in the morning.
Sure.
From 6 to 11. Yes.
So for those of you who want to join this conversation that starts now, you can do so on your radio. That is on 88.8 here in Nairobi,
90.7
in Mombasa, and then there's also 89.5 all the way to Garissa and its environs. And also one important thing is that you need to know that we are digital first. Yeah.
Growing.
Yes, we are digital first, and that is why if you go to your Facebook, if you go to your YouTube, you go to your X, you go to Instagram, you go to TikTok, you'll be able to follow the conversations that are happening here right at Radio Gen KE. Yeah, Radio Gen KE. You'll be able to follow the conversations that are happening here, because si sauti tu, hapa kuna mapicha pia, utaweza kufuatilia mazungumzo ambayo yanafanyika hapa ndani ya kipindi. And as we start, by the way, I want to appreciate those people who are already tuned in on our X platform. I can see over 1,000 people already tuned in, watching what is happening right here at Radio Generation. Remember, this is the home of hard truths and bold insights, and that is why when we are doing it, we make sure that we are giving the only truth.
And nothing but the truth.
However hard it is, we make sure that you listeners, all the viewers, you're able to get everything just as it is. So karibuni sana. My name is Patricia Wayoa, if you like, Patricia Wayoa, and we are going to start by Well, first of all, I don't want us at concert to mix hizi stories. Ulikuwa unaniambia story ya Epstein.
Yes.
You said it is a story that, by the way, it's a story that has made headlines, not only here in our country, but across the world.
Yes. So, Jeffrey Epstein, kesi yake ilianza a long time ago. The reason being, first and foremost, for those people who don't know Jeffrey Epstein, he was a financer, he was a businessman, but at the same time, he was a pedophile. He was a sex offender. He was a human trafficker at the same time. But he's one person who has or who had a lot of money, like a lot of money. If I say a lot of money, he had a lot of money. So him having money, he had power to do his free will, of which zilimpata matatani, because you see, by the end of the day, they were released. Of course, the U.S. Department of Justice, so far they've released 3 million files on Jeffrey. Yes.
I saw that the files include videos, includes photos,
phone calls.
Yeah.
And you know that time he was defiling children at the age of 14.
Quite unfortunate.
16, 12, 9. You understand? And he had this very big mansion in Florida. So what he used to do is he used to call in girls, or rather he used to look for young people, or not young people, young girls, and mostly they were in high school. Unaona? So nile anakuinvite kwa mansion, anasema I want to train you first, or for you to be a masseuse. A masseuse, for those people who don't know, masseuse is someone who does massage. But he was targeting young girls. So what used to happen is he used to invite them, and he used to give them a lot of money. And by then, $100 was a lot of money. So what he used to do is he takes one girl. After the massage, there was something else he used to do. No, that's the time he used to rape them. Okay? He used to molest them. And after he does that, he gives you the $100. By then, as 14, as 12, as 16, it might look like it's a lot of money. And the reason why he had a lot of girls is because he used to recruit them. So amekupea $100, anakuambia enda mbia rafiki yako mkuje tena next time. You understand?
Okay.
So he used to do that. He did that, and he did that to a lot of people, because in this particular files there are so many people who are involved, top presidents who are current president even right now, top actors, musicians, top celebrities in the US. Unaona, wale you look up to when you're growing up, awa wote wametajwa kwa this particular Jeffrey Epstein. And the funny bit, I think Kama caught up with him, because in 2019 August 10th he committed suicide while in prison in New York. Yes, I feel like Kama caught up with him because there were so many girls. Alafu, you know, there's also a documentary on Netflix. I've already watched episode 1, but there's a documentary where these girls are narrating, because that time they were 14, 16, now they're grown up, 32,
they're able
34. Yeah, they can recall what really happened to them, and most of them are top journalists in the US, top musicians,
quite
top
unfortunate.
actresses.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. And again, sometimes I don't understand why people forget, when people are in power, they forget that one day they'll not be in power. So but they tend to misuse that. When people are rich, they tend to misuse that, because this has also reminded me of the likes of I remember the accusations against R. Kelly. You remember the accusations against the late Michael Jackson. Remember recently we've had the issue of P. Diddy also. You remember the case that has just so these are things that are happening, and unfortunately, you know, happening with these big people that we look at, because look at what you're saying. He is a big financier, somebody who has supported so many things. Well, one thing that came out, I remember, is the issue of Bill Gates. Yeah,
even Donald Trump is allegedly.
Yes, but I was looking at them, and one thing that they issued a disclaimer that whatever is inside there doesn't mean those people's names have been mentioned in those files. It doesn't mean they've been convicted of, or they are guilty of anything. They've just been mentioned in those files. So one that I really followed because I saw the wife to Bill Gates, the ex, speaking and saying that she sometimes back she questioned the husband why he was still engaging with somebody who has been convicted of such evil in the community. So I remember I think this week people just went again and interviewed her, and she was like, I called out my husband when he had that relationship with that guy. So it's just something that people need to understand. And me, what I like is that kule uzunguni, people don't like being associated with such evil
cases.
Yes, people just don't like just don't want my name to be mentioned in such kind of cases. But here in our country, you get mentioned. I remember the other day that video of that young girl in the club. And then all of a sudden now she becomes a celebrity in our country.
It became twisted.
So I sometimes it's quite funny. Well, but anyway, it's a story. We just waiting to see the end of this story.
I hope all the girls will really find justice.
Yes, and
that by the end of the day, you see most of them actually from the Netflix documentary. With the first episode, there's a lady. She's a journalist. I've forgotten her name. She was saying, I hope she gets justice, because by the end of the day, that thing really traumatized her. And the fact that Jeffrey did whatever he had to do then, she said she's not married because of that. It really messed up with her mental completely. So for me, it is my hope and prayer that those girls really get the justice, because I can't imagine at the age of 12 you're being introduced to something that you have no idea about. You know?
And another, the controversy behind this, the release of those files is the issue of privacy. The your privacy of data, your data. Ilikuwa release. So people are like, those people who are mentioned in those files, those people's faces appear there. Because I saw like it's like they are barring some of the faces. You cannot recognize who this is. But again, that issue of data privacy, and again also the act of reminding these people what happened.
Of course, it will. I feel like it sends down a chill to especially the victims. Whatever they did when that guy was alive, you can't convince me that they did not know. Everyone who was mentioned in that particular
they knew.
fight, they knew, because they were adults.
Yes,
this were young girls. They knew nothing about it. But you, with your own mind, yani wewe na hiyo akili yako yote, but by the end of the day, you knew what you were doing. You were sleeping with someone who's very young, someone who's very naive, someone who can even defend themselves. I really hope those girls will really get justice. To me, and they seek psychological help, because it's not easy. Because some are narrating while crying.
Yes.
Something that happened more than 20 years ago when you were 14. Let's say, for example, now you're 34. More than 20 years ago. It's something that you keep on. It will never leave your mind. It will always live free on your mind. And it's not fair. So justice to every girl. And there are so many. There are thousands of them. You can imagine. Thousands of them. High school students. So unfair. Very unfair. Very unfair.
Well, I think that's that. It's a story that has been making headlines just all over. All over. Hata nasikia watoto wadogo mpaka wanajua hiyo story. So let's cross over back to our country. This week also a major thing happened. We saw the resignation of the IEBC CEO. And of course it caused a lot of mayhem just all over, everywhere. So I don't know what you have to say about the resignation of that CEO.
For me, I think I'll tend to quote what the chair said, That's Erastus Ethekon. He said that Marjan Hussein Marjan resignation was out of the interest of Kenyans. Considering we are heading to the 2027 general election, we are just few months away, you know. For according to him, it was a good gesture to him to resign, and also he mentioned that they came to an agreement. It was not that he was forced to resign. He himself decided to resign simply because they had a crisis meeting between the chair, the commissioners, and he was like, okay, fine, I can step aside for the team. And he took the bow, of which to me I will say it was so brave of him to do what he had to do. Not many people will choose to resign for the rest of the team, but I feel like he did something very commendable. By the end of the day, if it was for the interest of Kenyans, well and good. Yes, if it was for the interest of Kenyans, well and good. But we can't say that he was forced. He was
because actually that was the story initially. Yes, initially that was the story that came out like, oh, it's like he has been forced. No. Again, others saying that it is the pressure inside the IEBC that has caused him to resign. You know, you can resign.
Let's say pressure,
not because you're willing. No. Remember, you can resign not because you're willing, but because of pressure.
Pressure,
so that one you've been forced. Pressure.
You're not just forcing. Nilo unaambiwa Trisha toka sahi. That's being forced.
Not that.
You
okay. No.
Okay, it might be the pressure within the IBC, considering every Kenyan is looking up to that particular. Remember, imeformiwa just the other day. Unaona. Last year, that's when the team came in together. Like we can say we have a whole team of IBC. You understand? But by the end of the day, according to IBC and according to Constitution, the acting CEO mwenye amewekwa juzi, his name is Moses Ledama Sunkuli, he will only serve for 6 months. After 6 months, the commission will have to nominate someone. That person has to go through vetting. And once they go through vetting, that's the only time wakisha peleka vetting, then the name is taken to the president amwe, and that's it. But for him, I don't think it was pressure. Okay, it might, maybe not. For me, I will say it's just it's a matter of wait and see. I think that's what I can say. It's just a matter of wait and see, but I don't think he was forced. Ali agree to. Tuseme tu ali agree.
Well, what I'm looking at is now how this is gonna affect the 2027 general elections.
But you see, I don't think it will affect. The reason why I'm saying it will not affect is because they've already. Okay, let's say we have now a temporary CEO
in office. Yes,
in office. His name is Moses Ledaban Sokuli, and he will only serve for only 6 months. After 6 months, they will nominate someone. Once that person gets nominated, ataenda fanywe vetting. From vetting, once vetting mefanywa, they take the name to the president decides. So by then, by 2027, when we will be heading towards the general, we will have a team. Actually, by the end of this year, because it's only 6 months. So we're assuming we're in February, 6 months from now. You understand? So 6 months from now, they do for someone. Probably by November, October, December, thereabout, we will have IBC CEO. A new one. So I don't think it will be a challenge.
That's why I'm saying no. There's a challenge. Well, personally, I feel that there's a challenge because when you look at a CEO is someone who is in charge of the operations of the organization.
Yes.
So in this case, IEBC. So when you have and looking at the preparations for elections, I think a preparation for elections is not just a one-day thing. It's not something that people just wake up and say that now
we can do this.
Yes, we can do this. So it is something that horse planning starts early enough. Yeah, so I want to believe that there are things that the CEO, there were some plans that CEO was guiding through in the process of preparing for 2027. Like, for example, the issues of procurement. We are talking those about the kits that people use for voting.
Yeah.
And I remember most of the time people have always called out the procurement processes in the IEBC, saying that this is it is a challenge in that body. So, well, I feel that there is a problem.
For me, I feel like there is no problem. There is no problem because Marjan has already served two different elections. I may oversee 2 different elections. Unaona? And who knows, maybe Moses will, if all goes well, maybe wanaweza nominate tena, afanyiwe vetting, akwe. Because you see, by the end of the day, in 2023, December 2023, believe it or not, Moses is not just anyone. Moses is not that just anyone, because in 2023 the president alipewa this honorary that president usually gives in 2023.
No, I'm not questioning Moses. I'm not questioning.
You're saying there's a problem.
His ability to serve Kenyans and to do whatever.
Yes.
But I'm just looking at that change. Isn't it too soon?
No, it's not.
As we are heading to the 2027 elections, because I feel like there shouldn't be any changes.
I feel like it's too early.
Days before before the elections.
Me, I feel like it's too early. Ask me why. The election is next year,
yes,
right? We're in February. So, kama angeresign hapo October, tungekuwa na wasiwasi, right? Because tungejua, we're just 5-6 months away from the election, then someone resigns. I feel like it came at a very opportune time that he did it quite early when the year is starting. Onona. So, I think they have ample time from now until next year to just panga themselves. Yeah, they know what to do. They know what to do. And furthermore, Rastas Thakwan kila time ameshinda akisema the election will be free and fair and credible. Actually, those are his exact words: free, fair and credible. So we are looking forward for IBC. Very, very, like we are really looking forward. Wasituangushe, wasituangushe. With the team that iko in, wasituangushe. Yes.
This week also, I saw the UDA. Is it aspirants or what?
Aspirants, yes. Aspirants from all over the country.
Across the country.
Yes.
Meeting at the State House.
Yeah.
Kwanza kitu cha kwanza. Kule State House, siku hizi mikutano inakuwa ni mingi sana.
But you know, I miss Tetea Ruto, but I feel like the early he does it, the early he does these particular meetings, the better. Because I feel like we will be heading, by the end of this year, we will be heading towards campaigning mode. So hiyo time ya ku-meet up, hata kuwa nayo. So it's rather he does it now, but badala either the end of the year, because I'm very sure he will be very busy. Unaona? Because even hata hiyo meeting ilifanyika State House, I remember we were coming to work and there was a lot of traffic. In the morning at around 4 almost 5, we were thinking to ourselves, mbona hii barabara we are used to pass every other day, but today is very there was a lot of traffic. Then we just realized, okay, there's a meeting.
People are heading to the State House. Yes.
And from out of all that number, one thing that really struck me is we have a lot of aspirants from Nairobi County. Actually, Nairobi County leads in the number of aspirants for the 2027 general election. Furthermore, first and foremost, we have 9 gubernatorial aspirants
from UDA
in Nairobi. Yes, from UDA. Number 2.
Well, but anyway,
we have 28 senatorial positions. We have 15 women reps who wants to vie for women rep. We have 112 MPs. Considering
Nairobi.
This is Nairobi. I'm mentioning Nairobi only. 112 MPs. Considering Nairobi has 17 constituencies and 85 wards. Okay, and what's kinyilinishangaza sana, we have 805 MCAs. Considering we have 85 wards in Nairobi, but tuko na aspirants 805. sijui kutaendaje.
Well, again,
be
see,
very tough.
that's the reason why they usually have those. Remember, they said they're gonna redo the elections, the grassroots elections. So
For the nominations.
yeah. So, and again, also, it's also a good thing also to raise money for the party.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
the party-
805,
the party needs
805
money.
MCA aspirants.
Yeah. So if you come,
Trisha, we
when
have
you come-
85 wards in Nairobi.
yeah, when you come on board,
I don't know what wing
so we
sana.
want to see nani akona manifesto. I don't even know whether it is the
twingi sana.
manifesto or it is the following. Like ni nani akona following kubwa ama is it the manifesto, nani akona a good manifesto ama ni nani akona followers. I think most of the time these parties they are looking at those two main things, and sana the following. Because
but
what are you
still.
bringing on the table?
But
So kama
still.
tunaenda kukupatia tiketi, tunataka tukupatie tiketi ya UDA, you want to vie for this position in this county or in this constituency or ward, we want to see what is your following.
Yeah.
Tunatupa ticket ama ni tunapatia mtu ambaye ana.
But is it the following or is it what you will do? Because there's a very thin line between the following and what you will do.
So for what you can do is for you as a citizen.
Okay.
But to them, to those politically, like for the parties, it is not what you will do. It is the numbers.
But your number ni mingi, Trisha.
The
805.
numbers. Yeah, so
805. I don't know to wing. Nani 85 words.
and everybody, by then I'm just looking at the financial interpretation of this.
I know.
Like because of course the kila mtu unajua lazima kuna ile
Lazima.
pesa umetoa.
Yes,
So
for the
that is a
party.
good amount for the parties.
Okay, for the party, it's a win-win for them.
Yes.
Honestly, if being asked, it's a win-win for them, for the party.
Yeah.
But for the aspirants, kuna wenye naone huruma, and also I feel like it will be very Nairobi, apart from every other county, I feel like Nairobi will be the most competitive. It will be highly intensively competitive, because you see there are those who are eyeing from different parties.
Yes.
But UDA itself has nine gubernatorial aspirants.
They will narrow down and
my
come up with one. And hapo pia ndo utapata wengine those who did not agree with the decision of the party. That's why they walk out. Some of them will just come in as mtu anakuja kama candidate anasimama peke yake.
Or as independent candidate.
Yes, independent candidates.
Okay.
So somebody akiona kwamba like mi nahisi kwamba nimefinyiliwa na hichi chama sijapewa nafasi. We have seen so many people breaking away from parties and going in as independent candidates after those nominations are done, because that is when the people come out and say that hii chama ina mapendeleo, hii chama kuna
After ametupiliwa
after ukishatupiliwa. Yeah, I've seen so many
Really?
politicians coming out and trying to
Yeah.
to do this. And again, some of them go as independent and because of the manifesto they have, and maybe because of their track records, and people are able to vote for them, and they are able now to get those seats with them. Yeah, so I think that is fair. I like it when we have such a kind of competition. Because that is the time when now Kenyans, all the voters, we sit down and start looking at people like kuna huyu. But when people don't have choices, that they don't have a variety to choose from.
Yeah.
So you hear somebody saying that I gave this person my vote just because I did see any other person I can give my vote to. Yeah, so basically wacha ikuwe competitive, wacha watu wakuje wengi sana.
But okay, my question will be swali yangu kwako ni Trisha, don't you think it will be very confusing? Let's say, for example, let's take a very good example for the 112 aspirants for MPs, considering we have 17 constituencies. Don't you think it will be very confusing if we have let's narrow it down to 5 MPs or 5 MPs. Don't you think it will be very confusing for voters now that sisi
What's
pia
gonna
tutakuwa
confuse?
voters.
For example, you are you yourself you have a voter's card.
Yeah.
What's gonna confuse you?
Me, I don't want to. Okay, if at all they will be, if at all they will narrow it down to at least one person for UDA. Mind you, wako kama 19, 119 actually.
Yeah, so
No,
that
no,
now
these are different constituencies. Hii ni Kibera, Lang'ata, Embakasi North, South, East, West, Starehe. You understand? Wako wengi. Honestly, wako wengi. Okay, maybe numbers zinanisumbua, but bado wako wengi.
so now I think
Wajitole wengine tu waseme mi na step down.
why should
You
you,
see-
just
you
go
see,
for the
like,
competition?
the other day-
let's get the best out
The other
of
day,
that.
actually this week, Maraga has stepped down. And he said he will support who? Matiang'i. I mean, like, you know, there are things you can see and you'll be like, okay, fine. Bete hapa, wacha tu ni step down.
I also want to remind you that some of those guys are just projects.
True, I agree.
Some of them
State
are there to make business.
Yeah.
There are some people there who are there to make money. So somebody tries to go for that seat, so they have a following. So later on, they have something they can bring on the table and say that, look,
I
these
did
are my
this.
followers.
Oh, yeah.
These are my followers. This is what I want. Yeah.
From that-
so
yeah,
but
from
mark
that
you,
perspective,
yeah.
okay.
Mark you that all those people, kila mtu pale hiva kona objective yake. There are some who really want to come and change the life of the lives of their people.
Yeah. in
There
the
are
community.
others there who are just a project. They've been made a project for someone. There are others who are there to make money.
Yeah.
So now you as a voter, you have a duty. By
have
the
to
way,
be very wise.
as Kenyans, please, let's not be lazy.
Yeah,
In terms of
I
looking
agree.
and evaluating these people and looking at the track records of these people, because apart from hata kama mtu hajaingia kwenye kiti, once these people come out and say that I want to vie
They
for this
forget.
seat, it is something that you can search and get to understand this person.
Yes.
Manake, even from the village activities, the village leadership, the home leadership that people have,
Yeah.
you can tell somebody who can really work for the people and somebody who will just be there.
But you see, people wear masks, so you can't tell. People wear masks.
You can.
Unajua
Some
kuna
of
ule
them
mtu
you
anaweza
can.
apige sera aseme me I'll do this, me I'll do this, me I'll do this, me I'll do this, but by the end of the day akiwa kwa hiyo position, I mean, we kwanza hawaoni, and the reason why hawaoni is this. Me, the last time we were here, remember, my heart was crying out for children who were in Baringo County. Okay, sahi tuko na drought in northeastern, na hata leave alone northeastern, there are 23 counties that zimeaffectiwa na drought. You get my point? Mind you, we have MCAs there, we have MPs there, we have senators there, we have governors there. You understand? What are they doing to make sure that, okay, by the time you guys, because I'm very sure their manifesto ilikuwa mi nitawasaidia kufanya hivi, mi nitasaidia kuwafanya, but where are they now?
Okay, I want you to because I remember when after Gachagua talked about, called out the northeastern leaders. I'm just giving an example. I remember, of course, they came out to defend themselves.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember them saying that the devolution, that period cannot be enough to transform an area like northeastern areas. I mean, a region like northeastern, that they need more time, because they said up to now they've done a few things, but they say that it has taken some of these other regions many years, over 50 years after independence, for them to be able to reach where they are. And they said a majority of these places, like were not developed by the people, the leaders that we are talking about. You remember, yeah. So it was the national government. So them, they were like, they would want also the national government to get involved in those areas. Well, personally, I said it is also a good it's a good I don't know, request. Because
To the government.
Yes, to the government. The government also have a responsibility of ensuring. But again, look at when they allocate the monies for marginalization. Yeah, the equalization fund. Yeah, so some leaders or some analysts have come out to call, they've called out the leaders and asked them, can you please account for the equalization fund, the marginalization fund that you've received so far, so that now you can say that that period is not enough for you to make out something which can be seen to transform your areas. So most of the time, of course, once leaders come in place, maybe when you're outside, you think or you see things might be easy. But when you get inside there, you realize that there are so many other things that you need to put in place.
Yeah.
You get, for you to be able to offer what you promised.
But I don't know, but our watoto wa Baringo, hiyo side za Kerio Valley, Elgeyo Marakwet, those kids go through a lot. And especially matters to do with education. Okay?
And insecurity, of course, they go hand in hand. Yes.
Because you see, kuna wenye hata wanachomewa manyumba, kuna wenye they don't know what they will eat next. Unaona? And that shule zimechomwa, sijui zimefanya. I mean, yani, okay, my heart goes out to those children.
It's quite unfortunate. So that's why I'm saying, that's why I said, somebody may come up with beautiful manifestos. Yes, akikuja akisema hivi mnasema, oh yes,
this is the one, this will change our lives.
Actually reminds me of the manifesto that Kenya Kwanza had. You remember? Bottom up
economy. And
Kenyans felt that this was it.
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
But I feel like
then now,
somehow
right now,
it has worked. Somehow I feel like Ruto has fulfilled part of his manifesto. It might not be 100%, but kuna ile tu amefanya. Like kuna ile amefanya within his term or within your time ye alikuwa amejiwekea. I remember akiingia akisema the first 100 days I will do this and this, the first 100 days I will do this and this. But as for now, I feel like he has already done a lot of projects. And most people might not see, but I feel like
you can see yourself. You can see
me. I feel like I'm not siding, but I feel like
can you done. See? You feel all you done. Can see.
I feel
you're seeing something. I'm feeling and I'm seeing.
I'm feeling and I'm feeling and I'm seeing at the same time. I feel like he's done something. He has done something. The reason why I'm saying he has done something, look at Hustler Fund. Na hii ya juzi yenye ye mwenyewe anaenda counties to give out the Nyota funds.
The Nyota.
The good thing with this money, you're not hurudishi, si kama Hustler Fund, hii hurudishi. You build yourself, build your business. If you're smart enough, well and good.
Don't say that we are not returning this money.
It's not coming back.
No.
It's
let me tell you.
It's not like Hustler Fund.
Let me tell you something. And this one we're gonna, by the to the viewers and the listeners, please, we're gonna also look at this. We're gonna look at this deeply with the analysts who are supposed to join us in a few. So you need to understand or remember that this to the country by the World Bank. They said it is a conditional grant.
Yeah, it's a grant.
No, sorry, it is a loan.
No, it's a grant.
Let me tell you something. Nyota is a loan to the country. Yeah, to the country. But you, mwenye anapewa, yeye hatalipa. Sawa, it is for empowerment.
Yes, so me, I'm talking about the youth.
So, but
I'm talking about the youth of already.
Let me tell you.
Grants.
Yes, so the youth, yeye hatalipa. Okay,
so that's what I'm saying. If you're smart enough, you will develop yourself.
In a per se hatalipa, but in the real sense, we are paying
as a country
from 2029. We will start paying back this money.
Lakini
na sasa tunalipa sisi. Sasa sisi wote tumepewa.
Yeah.
So this sisi wote tutalipa.
It's a debt for the country.
A debt for the country. A debt for the country translates to
everyone will pay.
Paying.
Either you got the Nyota fund or you did not.
Yes. So now, I think that is one of the challenges that the president, all the government has right now as we speak, because it will be quite unfortunate for the Kenyan people to be getting into their pockets to pay a loan, maybe which cannot be really accounted for. You get. So they have a responsibility of ensuring that the people who are getting these loans, they are not just, these grants, wakipewa, they should have, I don't know how to put it. It should really yield. It is something that we should see.
Lakini
the outcome.
But I feel like in all these tours, I'm sure he has already covered more than 30 something counties. And what struck me most is next week he's going to Northeastern. And for the very first time, he's not joining the counties. Unajua, like Nairobi, alijoin Nairobi, Kiambu, Ivo. If he goes to Kisii, he merged Kisii, Nyamira, all the youths in those three counties. When he went to our place, he merged Taita Taveta, Mombasa, Kwale. But for this time round next week, he's going to Northeastern. And each county, hata shikanisha. If he's going to Isiolo, it's Isiolo.
Which is...
he's going to Mandera, it's Mandera. Has shikanishi. The reason I'm still
no, it makes sense.
It makes sense because of insecurity.
Again, there are so many factors that we can say, because also you look at the issues of the roads, the transportation means, like people, if they want to come to the events, so there is a lot. There are a lot of factors, and again, the northeastern region is also vast.
Very. I was about to say that it's very big.
So you cannot say that now you want to gather all the young people from across that region. It won't make sense. A lot of them may not benefit from
that particular meeting.
Yes. So mine is a question: what is the procedure of applying for this? There's I can see and
USSD.
Try.
No, the application windows has already been closed. That's a funny bit. Don't ask me how I need.
For every region?
Yes.
Okay.
But application has already been closed, of which I think the moment the Nyota Fund was introduced.
Oh, yes, I remember people applying, and also I remember people receiving the code if you have benefited from, I mean, you qualified for the... I don't know how the government missed my name.
So it's too late. So it's too late. That particular window.
Do you know anyone who has benefited from this?
Anyone
really. In person?
Not really. Not really. In person, no. Not really. But zimepeana.
Myself, I've never even met anyone ambaye amepata ile. I've never met anyone mwenye amefaidi kutoka kwenye.
But
maybe to the viewers and the listeners, if maybe you know anyone ambaye amefaidi kutokana na Nyota Fund, unaweza tuambia, or if kama ni wewe, if umefaidika na hii, you can also tell us, because I've been looking around. Hata kwa ploti naulizanga vijana, vipi mmepata hii pesa? Wakambia
but unajua haipewi mtu yoyote, inapewa wenye wako na biashara. Let's say for example you sell shoes, dresses from Gikomba, and maybe you want to add your stock and you didn't have money. If you're bright enough or if you're smart enough, ungeitisha your time, because that's the time and walikuwa wanapewa the registration process, or rather ilikuwa inaenda on. It's not that anyone, they're giving business people, young people who run businesses. Let's say business tu yoyote, either ni ya duka, car wash, manguo, viatu, you name it, as long as it's business. And you see, by the end of the day, if you look at hawkers in town, wengi wanakuanga vijana, wengi, they're youth, wengi of them.
Na wamama.
Yes, wengi ni vijana.
Yes.
So for them benefiting from I feel like it's a win-win. Like it's a win-win. It wasn't the money was the grant haiko inapewa mtu yoyote ila kama una biashara. So wewe ungeapply, make sure ulikuwa na biashara. It's not at you apply hivi. If ingekuwa hivi everyone would have done that. Ni biashara yenye iko registered. Yes.
Well, okay, I like it that I heard that there will be phase 2 of the SEM.
Oh yes.
I saw the deputy president saying that this phase 2 of the SEM. So pengine next round wakirudi, if you are a young person,
you should register that business now.
Please try register, try also try to apply.
Yes. Once as early as now. Phase 2 ikikuja wasipatwe off guard, at least ukuwe na biashara yenye inafanya kazi. Ndio ukipata pesa ujue vile utafanya kwa hiyo biashara yako. Because I remember president, I'm not sure which county, I don't know if it's Kisii or Nyamira, where he said hiyo pesa si ya kujibamba, ni ya biashara. Make sure umeka kwa biashara. So If phase 2 will come as soon as possible, anyone who is looking forward to for that particular Nyota fund, they should at least have a business, because it's strictly for business people, young people, the youth.
Okay. So this week also there's something that came out. There's you remember the Kianjokoma brothers?
Boys, yes.
Yes, there was the young man Benson and also Emmanuel. Yeah, but sometimes ilikuwa ni during a COVID-19 a lockdown. Na the young guys were 22 years.
Very young. One was
na
22,
19.
Yeah,
yes, I remember that
brothers.
case. Okay, I know, of course, it was reported all over that they were killed. By police as they were enforcing the lockdown. And okay, many things happened during that time. A lot of things by the happened. If you really had an experience with the police during the lockdown, you would ask yourself so many questions. Because the first question you would ask is, some of them did not even have masks on. Right? And somebody is coming to I mean, they are there as they enforce those the rules, the laws around that. You remember, I remember one day I don't know where I was coming from, and they take your ID card. Remember, tulikuwa tunaambiwa to sanitize. So my question is, and I was asking him, wapi nini yako, umechukua ID yangu umeshika, so wewe umesanitize?
Nulikuwa unatoka wapi Trisha ndio ushikwe?
I'm a journalist. You need to understand. And actually it was not...
fine. Kama hiyo ni yuned, I wish ungempatia your job card. Because that's the other
thing. So I gave him and then he's handling and bado na pia ya haja sanitize. So I'm like, again, another question was, himself hajavaa mask, and you want to enforce for people to...
Was he in uniform?
Yeah.
Okay.
So another question was, you are on the street alone walking home, maybe you're from work and you are alone, and then people come and mishandle you and putting you in the truck. In the truck, taking you to be, and you are walking, you are alone. Okay, enyewe kulikuwa kuna sheria kwamba msitoke nje, but then I saw some things never really made sense to me.
I can imagine.
It never really made sense to me. So, like, for example, like the case of these
brothers,
young men, because I saw this week people saying that the boys jumped to their death. They had planned to escape. Imagine that is what came out.
No, I don't think. I don't think so. Because you see, by the end of the day, in as much as they will allege they did that, I mean, a 19-year-old, a 22-year-old, you've left your mom at home. In as much as they wanted, I don't think they wanted, because first and foremost, they were very young. Second and foremost, they were caught up. Okay? They were caught up with the police. I also feel like the case of police brutality has been on the edge for the very longest time ever. And even before... A very good example, the teacher, Albert Ojwang. First narrative, the police said, alijigonganisha kwa kichwa, kwa wall.
Kwa wall, yes.
You understand? But once everything came out, it was someone who took his life, not him. Unanielewa? So I don't think the brothers did whatever they had to do. I do not think so. I don't think they did. Uwezi niambia tunajurusha, mbona wajurushe? Why? Did they have that reason to do that? No.
They planned to escape.
In as much as una plan kujurusha, this is a car. It's not, we can't say ati ilikuwa juu ama ilikuwa chini, hata kama wangejivurutisha hivyo kwa nini, kwa lami, and maybe gari,
the impact is not
it is not, it doesn't make sense, because the impact, unless it was a speed, I'm very sure that car was not on speed mode. It wasn't. Juu kama ingekuwa speed mode, that would be something else. You understand? Because alafu tena hapo ni wapi una speed? Gari Land Cruiser ina speed juu ya nini, na iko na polisi ndani. Unaona? So I don't think it makes sense. To me, I don't think they did what they're accused of doing. May their soul rest in peace, but may they find justice.
True. There's a lot that has been happening in our country that really needs justice to be served.
Absolutely.
A lot has really been happening, and I remember even during the Gen Z the protest, I remember how people were really mishandled. I remember the violations against, I mean, the young people. The violence meted on the young people who are on the streets. Most of the time, and I remember people calling out for reforms in the police force in the and I remember the CS for Interior, promising a turnaround, promising good reforms in the police force. But what I'm really surprised about, even as they say that they are bringing in reforms in the force, is actually they said is it force? They changed the name from force to what?
It was called
service or what?
No, it's supposed to be service.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be service. Yeah.
So I remember the other day. Did you see the video of that? The man who was killed, the businessman from is it Nyeri? Somewhere there.
Oh yeah. The case is still ongoing.
Yes, that one is still ongoing. You remember there's also another case the other day. So looking at what has really the police brutality still continuing.
Yeah, still
we have so many. Yeah, we have so many questions that are left unanswered. Yes, and I think it is just a high time that the government really got into the root cause of this. What is really happening? Why are people police? Why have they become that trigger happy?
And the funny bit is once a police amepatikana na makosa, the other thing wanafanya go transfer. I remember Samson Cherargei raising the same question. Actually, Samson Cherargei the other day, he said he will present a motion in Parliament that that Inspector General of Police, that's Douglas Kanja, aseme ni kwa nini he keeps on doing transfers. Mtu akifanya makosa, umepatikana na kesi, unapewa transfer. Unapatikana na kesi, unapewa transfer. Because I believe if you did that in Nairobi, umepewa transfer ende Makueni, you'll still do the same thing. You understand?
Yes.
So easy kufanya transfer, I don't think it can help, and it's not the solution. Unaona, it's like adding salt to the injury. You know, he needs like the IG needs to come out very clear. Na kama ni termination of service, license yako ichukuliwe, and that's it.
Not transfer. You are transferring problems.
Exactly, to another county. Because probability of you doing once, you can do it again. You see? Probability ya we kuirudia tena weza ifanya tena.
Yeah, it's still quite high. Yeah, so I think those are maybe some of the stories that made headlines this week. So we just looked at them as a news panel. Both of us are in the news department, and a majority of the stories that are happening in the course of the week, of course, we get a look at them. Yeah, so that is fair.
Very fair.
That's fair enough. So thank you so much, Winnie, for joining me tonight in this conversation. To the viewers, the conversation still continues, because right now I'm about to be joined by one Professor Fred Ogola, Nakidi Mwaga, and also Fuamba. And C. Yeah, so it's quite a very, I call them heavyweight. It's a heavy, and of course you'll be looking at so many things that happened in the course of the week, so don't go too far.
It's 8 o'clock.
Radio generation. The home of urban soul.
Sisi hapa area yetu tulikuwa tumejulikana kwa maandamano. Mimi nasikia wengine wanasema ati next week wanataka kufanya maandamano. Wakuje kwanza sisi tuwafundishe maandamano ni nini. Hawa hawajui maandamano.
Nimekuwa kwa hii siasa kwa muda, si ndio? Since I was 29, I have been around politics. But I must confess that there has never been a meeting of 12,000 aspirants. It has never happened. And this is a big statement from the people of Kenya that they do not want politics of personalities or ethnicity. They want politics that unites the nation, that have a plan, that have an agenda for the transformation of Kenya. This is a clear testimony. It cannot be clearer than this. It cannot be as clear as we can see it here today. And there are people from every part of the Republic of Kenya. So mimi nasema asanteni sana kwa kupata nafasi ya kuja hapa. Asanteni sana kwa kunitembelea. Si namna hiyo? Harambe! Harambe! UDA! 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 Kazi ni kazi! Kazi ni kazi! Kazi ni kazi! Tafadhali tuketi ndio niseme mambo ya mwisho.
The news just filtered in a few hours ago, and for me it would be prudent for us to await details of the circumstances of his early exit for us to make any meaningful comment, because the problem we have with the commission is that most of the times we do not know many of the reasons behind the decisions that they make. So even on this one, I would be cautious to just wait for details of the decision. I mean, we need to hear from the commissioners. That communication that has been put out this evening doesn't say much about the reasons behind the exit, and we are told that his term was coming to an end in March of 2027 anyway, which might be a good thing, so that you have somebody in office in good time to be able to put together proper preparations for the elections in 2027.
Who is holding belief for ODM?
Like, when you ask who is ODM, do you mean who is in charge of ODM?
Exactly.
The leadership of ODM.
That's the whole point.
All right.
Because that has been a subject. You have seen a function that has decided to set itself.
Yes.
The likes of Anyang' Nyong'o, the likes of the Siaya governor.
It's called Orengo.
James Orengo. The likes of Sifuna. Let me tell you, those old wazes who are my political mentors.
Yes.
Sifuna is not old.
No, so Sifuna is just a spoilt boy here in town. So and that we can deal with momentarily. You see, let me tell you, and I invite you to history. Tell me, you have ever seen one Professor Anyang' Nyong'o campaign in Kisumu? And I'm inviting anybody to show me a political alibi. Anyang' Nyong'o.
Actually, I have seen him campaign.
No, hold on. For governor, for the MP, it was okay.
No, even governor.
Yes,
I saw him campaign.
Yes, let me tell you. One, Professor Anyang' Nyong'o. One, James Olengo. These guys, since they started vying city, they have never had opposition for their tickets. They have never gone to a nomination for their tickets because they are considered to be Baba's people, so they don't have to campaign. They are given directly ticket, and because Baba's word is final.
If I have a party, again, let me call it party A. Party A, then our party leader dies, then me, because I am probably the most popular, or I was very good friends with the party leader, who's now dead, I come and I say, I'm the party leader. And then Siti Muga, because he's a very good friend of mine, supports that idea of Mbuvi becoming, of being the next party leader. But the rest of the team are like, but they keep quiet. According to you, the party leader is the dead one.
According to my records,
yes,
the party leaders, whoever you submitted, until you change it.
Yes.
Until you change it.
So I can.
And you see, probably the rest of the members keeping quiet. the rest of the members keeping quiet know that there is a process to how you become a party leader.
Yes.
And so they just wait until that process is done. Because they know you can say it, but as far as officially transacting for the party, you cannot do anything because that has to be done within the framework
and
of
the party leadership doesn't make sense if you can't transact.
We search for what really matters, the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. Introducing Patricia Wayola, and this is your weekly up on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and moment.
Okay, we are right back right here at the Generation Report, right on Radio Generation, the home of hard truths and bold insights. Here in Nairobi, 88.8. If you want to also tune in all the way from Mombasa, 90.7. Watu wa Garissa, bahari yake, mnatupata freshi kabisa kupitia kwenye mita bendi ya 89.5, 89.5. Yeah, you are able to join the conversation that is already happening right here. So I'm also looking at our social media platforms whereby you are able to follow the conversations that are happening here. Remember, I told you we are digital first, so you are able to follow the conversations right on our X platform and also on our YouTube. And also on Facebook, you are able to follow. That is at Radio Gen KE. So please join in because, like I told you before, we have the heavyweights in the house. Yeah, and of course, the key issues that we want to look at. We want to look at the issue of the IEBC. What happened this week? We also be looking at the issue of IDs. Yeah, there are so many things that we really need to look into. There's also the Kenya, the Azimio. Yeah, there is something that happened this week, and we just also want to hear their submissions around what happened in terms of we have Kalonzo Musyoka taking over that leadership, and so people have different opinions around that. So we want to hear what they have. So tonight, being the 7th of February 2026, I'm joined by one Professor Fred Ogola. I also have with me here Fuamba. And see, I don't know whether I pronounce the name well. He's gonna tell us. And then I also have one, the famous Kidi Mwaga. Yeah, they're going to introduce themselves. Then we can get or dive into the stories that we have here right away. So nitaanza na upande huo.
Yes, mimi wananiita kama Professor Fred Ogola. Mimi ni presidential aspirant for LDP, and I'm an economist, governance and strategy expert. Hiyo ndio vile najulikana. Sijui kama kuna wengine wanataka kujua.
Umesema chama gani?
LDP, Liberal Democratic Party.
The presidential candidate.
Aspirant.
Aspirant.
You are not a candidate until you are gazetted by IBC. So LDP nominates you, then you are called an aspirant.
Yes.
Then once you are now gazetted by IBC, then you become a candidate.
Okay.
There are those who are called hopeful. Hopefuls are people whom the party have not even nominated. They're just hoping. So I was in the period of hoping. Then I've now moved from hopeful to aspirant. Now I'm hoping that I'll become now a candidate. Okay. Like William Ruto is still now an aspirant. He's not a candidate. Yeah, because he was hopeful, he became president. But now, 2027, he is an aspirant, yet he has not yet been a candidate. Nobody has been gazetted by IBC.
Okay, yeah, sure. That's quite clear. Wow. I think my mic has a problem. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. Let's get to this side first.
Of course, I am the Kidi Mwaga. Convener. Manifesto yetu. While we breathe, we hope.
Okay, yeah.
Was that a mic test?
I
wanted me to introduce myself.
You are introducing yourself.
Good.
Because we don't have that much time, eh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, I am the Kidi Mwaga. That's enough. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm still afraid of my microphone. I don't know what's happening. Okay. Let's use this one. That one.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. My name is Fuamba NC Fuamba. I'm a Nairobi politician. I've been in politics in Nairobi for quite a while. But before then, I was a student leader at the University of Nairobi. Some years back, I was sort of vice chairman. Then from there, I was in the civil society a bit. Then I got into politics. So right now, I do strategy, and I'm an expert in management.
Okay.
I don't know if that is enough, but the rest can be found in public domain. If you have social media, you can go to Google and look for Fuamba and see Fuamba. You'll find my public profile. Is there.
Actually, the rest will be found in the submissions that you're going to be making right here. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. And I just want us to start with the issue of the stories of IDs. So let's hear. Let's listen to this.
Reasons why we are on desensitization is not only about issuance, it is also making sure that there is delivery of these IDs. And the people that we are dependent on to ensure that this is done are the chiefs and assistant chiefs, because the assistant chiefs know their people. They have a machinery we take and use, including village elders, we have Nyumba Kumi. So we are sure that the 13,000 IDs will find their way to the owners of the same. Now that we have done this, most of those IDs who are here, we shall be giving them to the chiefs so that the chiefs make sure that they are delivered to the people who came for them at registration level.
Wow. You've just heard about the issue of IDs, and I know it is something that so many people have come out to talk about it, this mass registration and the issue of the vetting, which the president, I saw sometimes back in Northeastern, saying that they've removed the issue of vetting. So I just want to hear some submissions around that from you experts, because you know what really this really means, because I understand there is a reason why there's usually that vetting. There's usually that there's something that you must fill. There's usually a procedure. There must be a reason. So I just want you to just tell the viewer maybe your submissions around the issue of mass registration. And we start with you here.
Of course, previously there was that issue of very difficult processes of getting citizenships in certain parts of the country, forgetting that it's a right within the Constitution.
It's a right, yes.
That Article 12 gives everybody that right to be a citizen of Kenya. So if you are born here, you are not supposed to have difficulties in getting what is rightfully yours. We attach so much this ID issue to the electoral process, which is unfortunate. But in reality, the ID in Kenya is very helpful in so many aspects that for you to process a lot of stuff, even going to school, you've seen even students who are supposed to get help need to have those IDs and on time. Never before have we had processes fast-tracked like they're being fast-tracked right now. And that's why we thank President William Ruto for relaxing some of these bottlenecks while ensuring that every citizen is having that kind of access. And if you look at our Constitution, Article 1 talks about sovereignty of the people. And it says that the sovereignty can be exercised directly or indirectly. And that's where voting comes in. We need to have the maximum number of people being involved in our democratic processes. And the only way you can do that is, first of all, being documented as a citizen. Then from there, you can register as a voter, so that when we get to the elections, you also have a role to play in deciding who becomes the leader of this country, or which leaders in different categories on different levels, so that we have a full participation of all citizens in governance. Okay. So on the issue of the IDs, I think it's commendable that the government is aggressively involving all people who are supposed to get that right, come to them.
Okay, let's get to Kidi.
Well, in regards to the ID question, I think there is nothing to be belabor here, because one, ID is a central document for anyone to enjoy their citizenship. So I think that every effort that is dedicated towards making sure that the people of Kenya have got IDs can and must not be politicized. To that end, when this process, there have been allegations that there are attempts to bring in people who are non-Kenyans to take in IDs for purposes of 2027 elections. I do not know for other areas, but some of us took keen interest in what was previously referred to as the NFD, the Northern Frontier District. And the way NFD is, I don't think, and as the work that the security agencies are doing, I think that it is impossible for non-Kenyans to get into Kenya, across that border, and get IDs. Part of why I'm saying this is because there is multiple layers of vetting. So that what was ostensibly removed is that we still have a capacity that is embedded in the national security apparatus to make sure that we are able. I think we have seen instances where local administration officials have been arrested and charged with attempting to facilitate. So I think that we must not, by fear, sold and especially by political actors who are keen in creating fear and despondency among the people of Kenya about any specific group of individuals or members of any ethnic extraction, to paint them in a certain way. I think as we go into 2027, and I'll give you another example. Lunyanza, for instance, there has been attempts to make sure that people register in the Lake region area. There are so many people that for a long time have never held IDs. These people are not, for instance, our friends from the northern Kenya, whom politicians want to make us fear that will come in and influence the election one way or another. So I think that type of scaremongering is something that the people of Kenya must stand up against. Thank you.
Okay. I have some questions I'm going to ask after Professor.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder whether we're in the same country with these, my friends.
Why?
Because, Patricia, the question people are raising, why are you playing with the process? We have not said, why are you changing the process? Like, for example, if you are a Catholic, the process of being a Catholic is being baptized. Then someone says now there's no need for baptism. You got
just become a Catholic.
Yeah, just be a Catholic because you think you want to be Catholic. No. There's nothing that is there's nothing that is precious that you give so easily. According to me, we are not. They are not getting the point. The thing is that why are you playing with the process? Then, secondly, why is the president involved and interested with high interest in these people? Why should the president just do his work? Is the president in charge of registration of persons in Kenya? What is his work? Why don't you know how to do your work? For me, I'm concerned because I'm a governance expert. I'm a presidential aspirant for LDP. I'm concerned. As president, you should know how government runs. William Ruto doesn't know how government runs. And I'm saying so because of this. Patricia, in the structure of government, which I was one of the consultants who came up with when Kibaki became president, was EMDA, Executive Order. The president should say that in the next 3 years, I want to ensure that 2 million IDs are issued. Then shut up. That's executive order. Ministerial policy, minister in charge of immigration or something like that, should now come with a policy to do that. Then State Department headed by the PS come with execution framework. Then an agency that registers people do it. Not the president going to Northeastern saying, now you come even giving IDs himself. You cannot be giving IDs yourself. You are flagging electric poles, isn't it? You are flagging a market. When do you have time to think as a president? That's why everything you touch just collapses. Everything you touch collapses. A government is like a rhino, which is big, does not just move anywhere. When you go to National Park, you throw a stone at the rhino, you'll throw the first stone, it will just be quiet. The third stone, quiet. Maybe the fifth stone, when the rhino turns, you feel it. The president doesn't know how this should happen. And according to me, why are people worried? Because he is involved. If there was a state agency involved, it will be depoliticized. But why is the other people interested? Am I also allowed to go to Northeastern and other people do ID because I'm also running? Is Kalonzo also allowed? You get me? Are other people like Maraga allowed to do it? So why is a president who has interest in people's votes and ID be the one now involved in issuing the ID? That's the issue. The issue is the state must work like one. When you go to the US, have you heard Trump issuing people American citizenship? Or even when you go to UK, why are they doing things that are not done elsewhere? Statehood is something very important, because statehood gives you nationhood. You cannot sell your statehood for a song, lowering all the barriers. What I know is, why is it that they are going to Northeast and talking about it? In Kibra here, people don't have those IDs, isn't it? Why is there no mass registration for people to get IDs in Kibra? Because he knows the votes in Kibra are not his. You get me? I'm linking this what Duale said, that Wasomali are going to help win the election. So put that aside. I go to something more important. The scare here is, as I can tell you, and he's trying to tell me Northeastern only. Walk here in Kawangware. How many citizens of Burundi are hawking here on the road?
So many.
How many of them are working in farms in Muranga, in Kiambu? They are now farm managers. They are milking in companies. They are Burundians. They are Rwandans here. We have Ethiopians here. We have Tanzanians. Many of them are flocking this country, selling eggs here on the road, hawking them. Then you tell me there is no threat. Unless you don't walk on this road, you fly. Maybe these people use a chopper. They never really walk on the roads in Nairobi. They don't know, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
As I'm concerned, we should make the process remain the process. Don't interfere with the process unless there's public participation. Because for someone to become a Kenyan like me, I should have a say whether they become Kenyan the same way I became a Kenyan. For me to become a Kenyan, I had to be given a birth notice from the hospital I was born. From that birth notice, isn't it, I took these things to registration, the chief signed it, the catechist signed it, Catholic catechist, they used to sign it, is when you can actually get an ID. Here, somebody picks it, just like someone walking, even like being forced to. No.
Okay, let's see how Fomba has something to say.
Yes, the last point Prof has made is very demonstrative of how much out of touch he is. The reasons as to why these initiatives are being put in place is because there are people who are born not in hospitals, away from hospitals. In this country, when you talk about sessional paper number 10 of 1965, it focuses on certain areas that are supposed to be given more attention. They were called high potential areas. And then the so-called low potential areas never had opportunity to access amenities that is talking about, like hospitals. So people are born at home. And if you talk about the birth certificate, you will see there are people who are old and they have never even seen the birth certificate. And that's what made the vetting process so stringent for such people to end up not even having their citizenship rights under Chapter 3 of the Constitution. They ended up never having the IDs. And that is why these situations have to be realistic so that we incorporate everyone in the process. Some time back, when President Mwai Kibaki was in charge, and Uhuru Kenyatta was the opposition leader, he complained, and Kenyans had that concern that the president was out of hands off, legs off, and everything like that. But right now we found Honorable William Ruto, the president, who is hands-on. He's involved in every process. He is living as per the expectations of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 131, whereby he's the symbol of national unity. So in as much as Professor Ogolla is a presidential candidate, he should not forget the fact that President Ruto is the president of the Republic of Kenya, and he's supposed to ensure that all of us are protected under the law. And when you talk about Article 27 that is against discrimination, it provides that all of us should have equal rights as citizens. And the ID drive is not just happening in Northeastern or in Nyanza alone. It is happening all over the country.
Actually, I saw it being launched in Coast.
Yes, I've seen a lot of efforts. Of course, Dr. Raymond Omolo has been very much hands-on in pushing that agenda. But all this is being done by the government in the interest of the citizens. And that's what the government is supposed to do. They have bigger duties. They are duty bearers. as opposed to those of us who are seeking seats here.
Kidi, I heard you talk about insecurity, the issue of insecurity and so forth. Do you think insecurity is a threat through the issue of IDs in our country?
I think that is true. That one, in the instances where foreigners can acquire our identity documents fraudulently, they can get into the country and use them to commit certain crimes and then run away. However, that history is there. But you can also realize that there is an attempt by our friends in politics to try to use that history and merge it with fear and sell it as gospel truth. Because when this is happening, when ID drive is launched through the Ministry of Interior, it is not that those people, those civil servants, those professionals working in the Ministry of Interior don't love this country. There are safeguards that are in place to ensure that, and my brother has spoken about the historical marginalization. That historical marginalization goes as far as identification documents, so that there are citizens of this country who are in their 60s, who are in their 50s, who do not have these documents. And so when fast tracking is done to ensure that these citizens are able to access services, then our friends who want to engage in scaremongering are telling us that Burundians are here and they are working. We don't have problems with citizens of East Africa coming to Kenya to look for opportunities. However, we must again guard against potential xenophobia generated by politicians to scare away our neighbors who are coming here to seek for opportunity. Thank you.
So I have one more question. The process.
I have to clarify this.
Yes.
I've said that let's follow the process.
Yes.
Why do you tamper with the process? What is I'm just trying to be indifferent to the issue. If they are here, actually what I'm telling the Kenyans, I'm not even having xenophobia. What I'm trying to say here is that Kenyans, I've been saying this even on shows, Patricia.
Yes.
Kenyans need to be competitive, knowing that there's already East African community that allows movement of people. So people will compete for the job you do. You are not going to be entitled to a job.
Yes.
If you can't do a job, a Burundi will do better than you, and they'll get hired better than you. Even for women, if you're not a good wife, a Tanzania will take your husband. You understand? This is competitive market. It's a free market. So according to me, I believe on free market. I'm a liberal democratic. And being a liberal democratic means simply I'm very liberal. You understand? These people are trying to put some things I've not said. I'm just saying, let's follow the process. Secondly, let the people with the political interest stay away. The state has the way it does what it does. Do you know why we used to have what we call permanent secretary? A permanent secretary in a ministry to ensure that things remain standard in spite of the changes in administration. Now they are called principal secretaries. They should also just remain principled to do the things the way it should be done. Why should a president be involved in registering people? What do you know? You have never registered anyone. You understand? There's a system to register. There's provincial administration. There's they are what called commissioners in each and every county. They are still doing their work. Let them do their work. And I'm not saying fearmonger here. Opposition people throw mud at it very easily when people are in government, isn't it? But what I'm trying to say is that we are defending the right for Kenyans. And I will never stop at it, even if you can tell me xenophobia. That word is when you have it. Me, I'm trying to say simple, Patricia. Keep the process.
Yeah.
And if you want to change the process, come back for public participation and change the process. The court has declared that unconstitutional, not Fedagola, the court. So if these people disagree with the court, why are you doing law degree? Why don't you start doing a law degree?
Let him respond.
Prof is misrepresenting facts here because I have not seen anything on record as a president directly being involved in the registration process. But as a president, he is the topmost leader in the country. and he guides the policy of this country. So that if there's anything that the government is supposed to do, he is the number one person who is supposed to show by example. And again, he's the leader of the country. He's the topmost person that we go to the elections to vote for. So he's the one who we look upon. These other people are in the structure under him. But again, Professor Ogola misses the point again, that if we are fighting for the rights of our people, and at the same time antagonizing those ones who have missed opportunities in the name of fear-mongering, like Kidia said, you are afraid of the Ethiopians, so that in that case you end up suppressing the rights of Kenyans. That doesn't work. That doesn't work that way. It's extremely unfair to Kenyans that you want to push the old narrative of discrimination.
What's your take on the process that he's talking about? The process. The
process is talking about is the same thing we have mentioned here, that not everybody has access to getting a birth certificate from the day you are born.
Or the notification.
So if you get that as a strict measure of you getting into becoming a citizen eventually, that's how you end up having the 70-year-olds not having ever been citizens of this country. And that's the kind of injustice that the regime of President William Ruto has tried to address, is actually addressing. So that the vetting is done by the chiefs. We have the provincial administration. And in those communities, people know who was born where, who is whose son. And that's so basic. So if we follow that, we still ensure that the genuine citizens will get their rightful citizenship rights. And then those ones who are not will be vetted along those lines. But if you make the process so stringent to favor the urban people who usually get born in very posh hospitals, get the notifications, get the birth certificates, and the process so smooth, they're exposed, their parents are literate, then you'll be extremely unfair. And that would be against the Constitution in the Bill of Rights.
Were you born in an hospital? Yourself?
Yes, I was born in a hospital. And
so you had your birth notification from the hospital?
Birth certificate, like that. You see that?
Kidi, so were you born in a hospital?
Well, fortunately, I was born when my father was doing very well.
Oh, okay.
So, yes.
Let's say, maybe, Professor, were you born in a hospital?
Yeah, I was born in St. Anne's Hospital, in Sega Mission Hospital in Ugenya. But let me explain this. They are trying to misrepresent the fact, isn't it?
Yes.
Even those who are not born in hospital, there is a process, Patricia. You understand?
Yes.
Even your pastor can sign and attest that they know you. Like, my father was a catechist in Sega. For those who are never born in hospital, they went to him, and as a catechist, they were baptized. They used the baptismal card for the Catholic Church. It was used. As I speak, my cousin is a chief in the area. It is not something I'm hearing from the blues. What I'm trying to say, there's an existing process. And if that process is not working, let it be subjected to public participation and be changed.
Okay.
No one is refusing it. But someone should not say that this thing is biasing. Remember also the soundbite which you said was very clear. Even there are some people who are given IDs 50 years ago, they have never collected. Isn't it? So the soundbite says it's not just about being registered. It's also transferring and giving them the IDs. You get me? So there are also people who have never applied. Some people say, why am I trying to look for an ID to vote for a government that cannot feed me?
Okay.
So there are many issues here. Democracy is not just about right to vote, but also right to receive services as a citizen. There are very many issues there. These people are not saying the thing as we say transparently and honestly, that we are just trying to say, if the process is wrong, isn't it? Let us change it. But let it be equal to everybody. Because why should it be subjected to some people separately from others?
Okay.
Like for me, we got it in a very stringent manner. Even to get a birth certificate was not easy, you know that. But some people are getting it even almost by force.
Okay, that's fair.
No, almost by force.
What Prof is saying is not backed by any evidence. Whatever he's saying is just random
stuff. No evidence, yeah?
He has not been very specific on what has been flawed in the process. He has not mentioned that. And that means that whatever he's saying does not carry any water and has no reason at all. What he is pushing is the agenda of discrimination, especially not just the North Frontier District people alone. Most of the people who live along borders of the country have faced those stringent challenges. And can you imagine if you have not been able to access formal education, you've not gone through those processes, then it becomes difficult for you to have these documents. And that's why this government, for the first time, wanted to bring equality and equity, equal treatment of all citizens and equity, because in as much as we can never be equal, but we must use the opportunities that are available to be fair to every citizen.
Patricia, I think on this ID issue, I must issue a caveat emptor, buyer beware. That remember, Professor Gola has declared that he's running for the President Ruto's seat. And therefore, he is walking into this show as a critic. The rest of us do not have any apparent political interest except to speak the truth to this country. And therefore,
that is not correct. He's a UD official, and he has declared.
I'm not.
That is true. No,
Prof.
In fact, I'm a liberal Democrat. I'm just saying what I know. Follow the process. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I also wish Prof took lessons in turn taking, but I will finish. So, dear Prof, what we are saying is that, remember, I come from Migori. Migori is a border county.
Yes.
Homa Bay is a border because we border Tanzania.
Sure.
Homa Bay is a border county because it borders Uganda. Busia is a border county. So most of these counties from where I was born, these are discrimination that our people...
also come from the border.
No, but of course you have what other interests you are pursuing over...
That is overriding.
The overriding, yes.
The interest.
The interest of the people whom you grew up with. So the rest of us have had a chance to see how this thing is helping our people who have been marginalized for decades get this essential document. That is why we will not remain quiet when we see a noble initiative like this one being politicized. What we are saying is that let the people of Kenya come out in large numbers and make sure that they take IDs. People who have been discriminated against before, let them take IDs, and also let them make sure that they collaborate with the law enforcement agencies so that in the instances where undesirable elements might want to also take advantage of this process, we are able to collaborate with the security agencies to make sure that we flush them out. Thank you.
Well, I think let's forget it. Yeah, let's leave it at that.
Let's follow the process. No one wants to stop anybody from getting ID. It will be nice if they get, but follow the process, because there's what we call supremacy of a process.
An equitable process.
But because Prof has not said what is flawed.
Patricia, if a process is flawed, do you know there's a risk of having a president of Kenya who is not a Kenyan? There is, because if somebody gets an ID, if somebody gets an ID, not overthinking, there's a possibility, and if this guy did what is called probability in mathematics, he knows. Even if it's 0.0010%,
it matters.
It says a probability is there.
Yes,
and there's and let me tell you, there's no probability which is too small that cannot happen. Even Murphy law says, if anything can happen, it will. So I don't know which logic they are using.
It has to go wrong, but we are not dealing with anything that is going wrong.
If anything can happen, it will. This is a maxim. If you disagree with, then I'm also wondering, actually, why should we agree?
Of course, Murphy's law does not apply here. Murphy's law is about things that are supposed to go wrong. This one is not going wrong. The country is working well.
It's working.
Under President William
So
Ruto.
if there's, Patricia, if there's 0.0000001% that somebody can get ID wrongly, which is a possibility, isn't it? And there's a possible 0.0000 that somebody can actually become president, isn't it? Using that ID. If that is there, it has happened. Let me give
let's say this. Let's say this. You said it is unconstitutional. You said the court?
Yeah, because you see, there's a process on which people get IDs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Why were these chiefs being arrested? They are being arrested based
So this is a matter that is
it's legal, has a legal guidance, and they know it.
Okay, I think let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that.
But before we leave it, maybe the prof would have told us that what process has been flouted.
Which one specifically?
So that then, as we live here,
the process is this: to get an ID, there are some documents you have to submit, isn't it? Those documents were waived, isn't it? with no legal standing, isn't it? Those waivers is what gives room for someone to become a Kenyan without following the process. Those waivers, see, you play that clip yourself.
Yes.
They are waivers, isn't it? Which constitutional, let's say, provision has been used to do those waivers? You get me? That's my concern. If the process is wrong, let us put it to public participation, because to become a Kenyan is to receive the Kenyan sovereignty.
We go back to Article 27
which
that talks against discrimination.
No, it's not discrimination.
If the previous processes have been discriminative of a certain cadre of Kenyans, then it is constitutional that those aspects of discrimination are eliminated from the process. And that's why the new vetting system is more flexible right now to accommodate those people who have been negatively affected by the previous arrangement.
Okay, let's...
And I just, so that we close on it, I must tell Professor that there is something called positive discrimination. Positive discrimination, other people call it affirmative action. In this instance, you realize that for 60 years, the process that Prof is insisting that we should have followed, the result is that so many Kenyans have been unable to access this document. It is therefore incumbent on the officers manning some of these installations, like Dr. Raymond Omolo, to make sure that they engage in affirmative action to ensure that the process is streamlined, so that people who have historically been marginalized and are unable to access this document are able to access it. Okay. And because I believe that they are responsible officers, I think there are other measures to make sure that undesirable elements do not come in and infiltrate this process, which is one thing that our friends in politics have wanted to take advantage of. The rest of us who are not politicians have got a cardinal responsibility to speak truth to this country. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's move on to something else.
I like his truth. That truth is a very good truth. I like your truth.
And actually, we say the radio generation is the home of hard truths and bold insights. Yes. So basically, that is what we are serving to the viewers and the listeners. Yes. So have a listen to this.
Secretariat has no power. IBC power is vested on the commissioners. That's why, if you remember again, let me repeat. They say they cannot do. Remember, since 2022, there has not been any continuous voter registration because they say we don't have a commission. If you cannot, and yes, you have a secretariat, you have returning officers in the constituencies, they couldn't proceed. How then? Where did Marjan get the powers to extend such a key cog in the entire election management system? So we are saying, yes, Marjan is out. Number 2, very quickly, we want mathematic consult. Number 3, vetting of all the staff of IBC and a lot of reshuffle. We want to have a list of all the staff. Where do they come from and where are they positioned?
Well, you've had yes.
That's Dr. Mbaye.
Yes.
Now, Dr. Mbaye, I don't want to be very personal about it, but Dr. Mbaye has 2 versions of truth. The truth that he used to speak when he was in government and the truth that he's trying to speak when he is in the opposition. So conveniently, that some of the issues he's raising today will not have been raised by him when he was in government. And that's the unfortunate nature of the politics of this country. That people create narratives that favor their comfort zones. That when the comfort zone shifts, they also shift with that truth. And that's why we end up being subjective on so many issues. Of course, there have been a lot of dynamics around IBC since 2022. And a lot of things have happened. The opposition recently, the so-called united opposition recently, came up with a very serious agitation that they no longer want Marjan in that office. And I think his resignation is very much welcome because as a country, we need to have a culture of when people raise issues around you, you step aside like he did. And therefore, I expect that now the united opposition will not use any other excuse of trying to say 1 or 2 things in the name of fearing their imminent defeat in 2027. All these that are being raised right now are just excuses. You know, whenever someone senses defeat, like they are sensing defeat in the hands of President William Ruto in 2027, they'll come up with 1,001 objections on a number of issues. It's not just about IBC. Whenever one problem is solved, they'll raise another issue. When another issue is raised, is solved, they'll come up with something else. They'll keep on coming up with all kinds
So
of excuses.
according to you, are we all good at IEBC?
I think so. I think right now we have the commission in place. They conducted the by-elections so well. The systems worked so well in the by-elections. And that was a good experiment that they are likely to perform very well in 2027. So I think there are also more by-elections on the way coming. We'll measure them on their performance and see how effective and how well prepared they are. And even as they do the work, these are things that are guided by budgets. So everything is supposed to be done at a specific time. And many institutions are involved, like Parliament and other institutions, that the process of management of IEBC is not a one-person show.
True.
It's not one group show. That's why in the 2010 Constitution, we came up with the structures in institutions that are working. We should allow institutions to work properly without necessarily politicizing everything that comes up. We knew all the challenges that were there as a country. But the unfortunate thing is that people speak this language when on this side, and when they move to the other side, just like the way Rigathi Gachagua, all the time, he comes up with arguments. He makes arguments that are exactly the opposite of what he used to say when he was in government. So it's a very good example of how people play around with their own convenience to project them as a Kenyan interest.
Okay, let me ask you: is a truth, whether spoken by someone, when it is a convenience to them, if it is truth?
In most cases, it has never been absolute truth. Like I've said, it's subjective. That someone wants to create a narrative and convince people based on his personal interests, as opposed to what he will say if he stood in an exactly opposed position as far as politics is concerned. So for me, I will wish that in as much as we have that freedom of expression, of having ideas on a number of issues, we must allow the institutions that are established under the Constitution to work. Because in this country, no single person runs the show. The structures that we have enough checks and balances to ensure that work is done properly.
Okay, Kidi, what's your submission? Are we all set in IEBC even after the resignation of the CEO?
Patricia, I want to remind you and the country that this commission was as a consequence of political horse trading. The biggest noisemakers about how IEBC is not properly constituted were principal players in the reconstitution of this commission. And therefore, in law, we have a maxim that the law aids the diligent, not the idolent. So to that extent, we must agree that they had a say in who ended up being appointed in the commission. Look at the individual commissioners and their track record. These are innocent Kenyans who have served Kenya in various capacities, who in terms of academic qualifications, they have got excellent qualifications, and there is none of them you could point at and say, hajasoma. The questions have, our friends in politics have attempted to raise cast aspersions on the commission, that on the basis that ostensibly the former CEO met certain individuals. Lord Denning says that as long as aspersions are cast on your character as someone presiding over a matter, the most logical thing is to down tools. In this instance, when the our friends in politics calling themselves United Opposition, I do not know whether they're still united or disunited, staged a march and made a lot of allegations about the IEBC and the CEO. Mr. Marjan has done what I would call the honorable thing. He has stepped aside, and somebody else has been found to take over the matters of running of the secretariat of the commission. To that end, from where I sit, unless additional evidence is given to us, I think the commission is properly constituted and ready to execute matters of elections 2027. Thank you.
Let's come back to Professor.
Yeah, Patricia, I think first of all, there is no day opposition will ever say that the commission is properly constituted. If I am wrong, tell me when it ever happened in history of Kenya. Since the beginning, the opposition must say that the commission is not properly constituted.
But I saw Kalonzo Musyoka saying that they have faith in the commission.
No, if he says, then maybe as joint government. But what I'm trying to say is that there's no way, there's no government that can allow the IBC to be constituted in favor of the opposition. So there is nothing like that. And then secondly, there is no one who goes for an election. There's no politician who goes for election wanting a free and fair election. I'm sure maybe Famba, when you begin the thing, you start saying, is there a way I can get this thing without having to go through the process? Like, can I go to heaven without dying? So it's either side. No matter how much you give them, like looks like Sam, look at the previous one. Raila was told to nominate 4. Who became the Charter 4? The Chebukati 3 beat Charter 4 because they had the chair. As far as I'm concerned, we'll go back again. If nothing changes in law, whoever the chair is, that's what determines. Don't care about IBC, CEO, I don't know, commissioners. The chair, if the law remains that the chair is the returning officer of presidential election, that is one to announce it, it will come back again here, and you realize even if they now they can be another Charera 6 and then Ekathon 1. And they still win until the Supreme Court. So according to me, there's no. Secondly, I think that the opposition is trying to answer their own question. They should focus on winning this election in such a way that even if the father William Ruto was the chair, they cannot declare him the president. That's what happened when Kibaki became president. Do you think that the commission during Moi, when Moi wanted Uhuru to become president, was considered in favor of Kibaki? No. But the kind of campaign that was done by Kibaki with the Wakena Raila team, and it was clear that Moi must go plus Uhuru. I'm telling the opposition they're focusing on the wrong question. They should go on the ground, mobilize Kenyans around Ruto must go. Whether the commission is with him, he must go. Whether CEO is from Sugoi, he must go in Jesus' name. That is what they should focus on. But trying to say, oh, IBC, his story, I work, it never works. Yeah. When I want a wife in your region, all your uncles will be supporting you. Me, I have to find how to get the woman into the car and go take her to my home and marry her. All the uncles will be against me, of course. I married in Taita. There were 6 uncles negotiating. No one was on my side, but I got the wife. That's what you want. So historicity, your commission is with us. They will never be with you as opposition. Because who is paying them? Who appoints? Is William Ruto, isn't it? How can he appoint people who are against him? He cannot. So it is by default that the opposition must be pro-government. If they are not, I'll be surprised. But what do you do? As a candidate, I'm running for president. You understand me?
Yes.
We are going to disrupt this thing in a way that even if IBC is working from State House, they'll even have no data to declare Ruto the president. That's what I'm looking at. Because, let me explain a little bit. How do people become president? Kenya, I was telling you guys as we're chatting. There are 3 ways to become president. The first one is the system produces you. So the system even can give you the IBC, and can even give you the treasury, and can give you interior to coordinate how you can win an election.
And to give you intelligence.
Yes, and give you intelligence. Kenyatta was in the system produced him. Moi was in the system produced him. Kibaki was in the system produced him. Uhuru the same, Ruto the same. Which means since independence, only the system has elected for Kenyans a president. Which means that's why we have no services Kenya, because those people are working for the system that put them into office. The third way is the coup, which we tried on 25th of June 2024. isn't it?
That was a coup.
It was I'm saying it was unconstitutional.
Because I thought it was just Gen Z protest.
We were to remove him. If it was removing, it was unconstitutional, isn't it? Because it was going to throw away the constitution. The risk was there. You get me?
Okay.
The third one is disruption. The opposition need to have disruptive strategies. We should disrupt this system in a way that it changes. Like you come from Migori, where there's fish, isn't it?
Yes.
If you go to compete with the Luos there on how to fish, Omena, they'll beat you. You must change the fishing industry. So fishing is taking place this way. You must change the entire industry. So as far as I'm concerned, this is the way to go. Then last submission I'll make. The acting CEO was Chebukati's lieutenant to deliver it to William Ruto. So even opposition, by removing Majan, they don't even know what to remove. English verb says you're backing the wrong tree. If you want to marry a woman, you might be talking to the aunt who wants this woman for another man. You understand? So it might not work. You know, my culture is your aunt who gives you a woman, isn't it? Your wife. Your aunt is the one who go and check. If your aunt does not want to get married, you won't get it. So according to me, this is a waste of time. You understand? The most important person is the chair. And if the chair is the most important person, if the chair is not with them, let them disrupt the chair. Or let them join William Ruto and let William Ruto win the election. You understand?
Okay, fair.
For me, it does not end up trying to fight all these things. And I want to say the following, and I'm telling this to the government. This time election will not be like the way you want it. I am running for election. I know what I'm doing. This time, by 8 p.m., we know the president-elect. You get me?
Yes.
Because you cannot count 600 ballots for 3 days. Because if you tell me, if you put 600 ballots here in a ballot box, how long does it take? I used to be an altar boy. We used to count 10 cents to make them 600 shillings, and we could count 10 cents to make them 600 shillings in one day. Isn't it?
Okay.
So this time, if they're planning to steal, it won't work.
I think, Patricia, we need to appreciate the fact that Kenya has walked a reforms journey for a number of years. Particularly, if we trace our journeys from 2007, we need to know that there are established institutions that have been born out of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. And all these allegations of so-and-so is going to rig elections or so-and-so has the system, this experiment was tried in 2022 when those of us were in Azimio, and like for us who were in Jubilee, we were so sure that since the Commander-in-Chief President then, Uhuru Kenyatta, had assured us that Honorable Raila Odinga was going to win, then we were so sure for that. But based on the institutions that we have, we had a different results. And as things stand, there's no way and there's nowhere the head of the IBC can announce results from nowhere. We have institutions up to the Supreme Court that's supposed to deal with the election petition. And it handled and gave a verdict. And that verdict, if you talk to the people who represented both sides, the legal representatives, they'll tell you the facts that the Supreme Court made the right decision on the basis of the findings of what had transpired during the elections. So this excuse of whenever someone loses, says the election has been rigged, is something that has been so normalized to forget that we work through institutions, like starting from the polling center up to the tallying center at Bomas. There's a process. So it's not something that someone sits somewhere and just throws figures here and there. What has happened this week, interestingly, I think everybody saw at State House, President William Ruto hosted over 12,000 candidates of all positions. And those people were represented right from the grassroots. Out of those 12,000, 10,000 of them were running for MCA positions. And these are the same people who are going to be involved in the grassroots elections of the party. That's already a mechanism of mobilizing voters in favor of President Ruto. And he's not just doing that, because that's politics. He's also doing things that are supposed to endear him to the voters. He's talking about issues as opposed to the people in the United Opposition who are now following the bandwagon of Rigathi Gachagua of tribalism. The shares narrative seems to have taken toll on people whom we initially thought were going to push the national agenda. Okay. It's no longer about issues on the side of the opposition that pushing tribalism and shareholding, while President William Ruto is endearing himself to a narrative that is accommodative to all Kenyans based on issues.
Just hold on that thought because we are just heading to the top of the hour. We are going to come back.
It's 9 o'clock.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul.
How many were they?
I don't have the numbers, but I can tell the question that what type of farming
don't answer that. Deal with 55 million worth of seedlings.
We have seedlings along we supply to farmers along the river, all the way from BP1 to Malkamari. That is one. All types of seeds, maize. And then the vegetables.
Governor, maize does not come from seedlings.
Yeah, he's a prolific maize eater.
We are talking about seedlings.
You know, it's the coding. The coding. All the farm products we put under that.
If the purchase is seedlings, it cannot be maize seedlings.
Yeah, let's not offend maize.
Kenya sio nchi ya wajinga bwana. Ama namna gani? Si sote tunaelewa, wale majamaa si tunawajua, mpango hawana, sera hawana, agenda hawana, maono hawana, nyota hawana, hata akili. Vijana hoye, vijana hoye, mnasema tuendelee tuendelee bana? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Vijana wa Mombasa, Kwale na Tana River na Taita Taveta mko tayari? Taita Taveta hoye! Kwale hoye! Mombasa hoye! Mko tayari? Muko tayari?
The things which public health officers do on day-to-day basis, our work is actually to mitigate and ensure that we control those hazards and ensure that our community is actually very safe.
Yes.
There are no cases of malaria, the infection of malaria. And you saw what happened the other day with a lot of, there's a reported case of an upsurge of new infection of HIV.
Yes.
And among the teens. And you know, that's a thing that's actually attributed to public health. Most people are not using condoms, for example.
Right.
We're actually practicing unsafe sex practices. Our eating habits are actually not up to standards, and therefore we're actually contracting a lot of HIV, we're actually contracting a lot of hypertension, diabetes, is actually on the rise, cancer cases. You saw what happened, Oluga was, the PS Oluga yesterday at Kenyatta National Hospital. Patients were literally crying. Why is, with the cancer issues, the cancer wards are full. I mean, you cannot have a country that we actually experience a lot of cancer issues. And you know, cancer is caused by simple things, disposal and unsafe disposal of maybe of nuclear waste. You saw what's happening in is it Northeastern, where we saw Meru, a lot of cancer cases being reported in Meru because of unsafe disposal.
It's 9:03.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul.
How many were they?
I don't have the numbers, but I can tell the question that what type of farming.
Don't answer that. Deal with 55 million worth of seedlings.
We have seedlings along we supply to farmers along the river, all the way from BP1 to Malkamari. That is one. All types of seeds, maize. And then the vegetables.
Governor, maize does not come from seedlings.
Yeah, he's a prolific maize eater.
We are talking about seedlings.
You know, it's the coding. The coding. All the farm products we put under that.
If the purchase is seedlings, it cannot be maize seedlings.
Yeah, let's not offend maize.
Kenya sio nchi ya wajinga bwana, ama namna gani? Si sote tunaelewa? Wale majamaa si tunawajua, mpango hawana, sera hawana, agenda hawana, maono hawana, nyota hawana, hata akili. Vijana hoye! Vijana hoye! Munasema tuendelee, tuendelee bana? Tuendelee ama tuendelee? Vijana wa Mombasa, Kwale na Tana River na Taita Taveta mko tayari? Taita Taveta hoye! Kwale hoye! Mombasa hoye! Muko tayari? Muko tayari?
The things which public health officers do on day-to-day basis, our work is actually to mitigate and ensure that we control those hazards and ensure that our community is actually very safe.
Yes.
There are no cases of malaria, the infection of malaria. And you saw what happened the other day with a lot of, there's a reported case of an upsurge of new infection of HIV.
Yes.
And among the teens. And you know, that's a thing that's actually attributed to public health. Most people are not using condoms, for example.
Right.
We're actually practicing unsafe sex practices. Our eating habits are actually not up to standards, and therefore we're actually contracting a lot of HIV. We are actually contracting a lot.
We search for what really matters, the connections, the context, the stories behind the stories. Introducing Patricia Wayola, and this is your weekly news roundup on Radio Generation, where every headline has a heartbeat and every moment counts.
Yes, good evening and welcome back to the Generation Report right here on Radio Generation, the home of hard truths and bold insights. 88.8 in Nairobi, 90.7 in Mombasa, 89.5, that is all the way in Garissa and its environs. Radio Gen KE, that is on our social media platforms. Go on to X, go on to YouTube, go on to our Facebook page. You are able to follow the conversation that is happening right here at Radio Generation. Tonight I am joined by one Professor Fred Ogola. I'm also joined by Kidi Mwaga and also I don't know why that name.
Fwamba.
Yeah, Fwamba. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, Fwamba NC. Fwamba. Yes, he is in the house. So the conversation here inawaka moto sana. So, but we are going to make sure that, of course, we remain objective and also ensure that we give the stories that made headlines this week a different perspective. Yeah, that maybe you missed in the course of the week. So, karibuni tena. Of course, my name is Patricia Wayua, and we are continuing. This is our last hour, so please stay tuned. For those of you who also want to contribute, please, you can do so. You can write on our YouTube. Yeah, you can write on our YouTube there, because I see people are already commenting there. Somebody said the Kidi Mwaga has made it clear. I don't know what he's talking about. Kuna mwingine anasema kwamba iko lit. Yupo mwingine anasema we are all set. Mwingine amesema kuna mtu anasema uongo hapo. So
ni nani huyo?
Huyo mtu ni mtu wa siasa sana. Huyo mtu ni mtu wa siasa sana. Mbona hajasema ni nani?
Mimi najua yeye.
Hata mimi. Hata mimi.
Mimi najua mtu anasema. Lakini mimi najua anasema ukweli.
Yeah, so basically those are some of the comments that we are getting on our YouTube channel, as well as on our X platform, whereby we are having over 1,000 people following the conversation that is happening right here. So thank you so much, guys. You can still continue sending in your comments. You can also send in your submissions around the topics that we are looking at right here at the Generation Report. So we continue with this conversation. Kabla twende, Fwamba, you were saying something.
Yes, I was talking about the meeting that the president held at State House. And you saw the kind of enthusiasm that people want to identify with the president's party.
Yes.
Aspirants, over 12,500 went to State House to stand with the president and gave him assurance of supporting him. And out of the 12,000, 10,000 were MCA candidates, meaning that there are people who are really at the grassroots. That even before you start looking out to look for coalitions, remember that is not ODM even on board yet. The president already has the following
all over the country. And that's not just coming by accident. It is based on the fact that the president has been issue-based in his campaigns. And that's why he's been able to attract audience from all over the country. Worked in all countries. Martha Karua said the other day. Of course, she used some nickname there, agreeing the president. But she said that it's very difficult to defeat President William Ruto. The reasons on our side could be different, but the reality that it is true that it is impossible to defeat President William Ruto in 2027, not based on what they think, but based on the fact that the president has delivered on his agenda. And even on that day, the deputy president doing exactly what he used to do when he was under President Uhuru Kenyatta, that he articulated the issues of how much has been achieved based on the plan, the manifesto that they had in 2022 against what is remaining, and the objectives of ensuring that we are having a long-term project in terms of making Kenya a first world country. And that cannot happen by accident. It must be done on the basis of the structures that have been established and the kind of thinking and the kind of intellectual prowess that is at the top of the leadership of the country today. Because Dr. William Ruto is someone who believes that this country is supposed to be better than what it has been. And that's why he chose a professor to be his deputy. And the kind of thinking has changed the country. We are having the journey to Singapore is real. You see, when people are talking about Rironi, they said that he was not going to do it. You know, everything that the president was declaring before, people are saying these are lies. But interestingly, everything that is declared, today we saw him doing a selfie at Atlanta Stadium.
Yeah.
Something that people had also said that it was not going to happen. It is now almost complete. Look at the Rironi Mount Summit Road is being done. The extending the SGR is a project that is ongoing, and he assured people that day that they are going to see it happen. Remember when he mentioned the Kotulo, Lamu, that road? People joked about it online. They say that it is impossible. But now that road is under construction, it's ongoing. And that means that Kenya is a project that is ongoing and is under the right leadership. Something that we should not interrupt, because if we interrupt, if it's working, why fix it? If it's working, let us continue with it and ensure that even the people who get into leadership going forward, even after 2032 going forward, must be in line with the developmental program that has been established in terms of making Kenya a first world country.
Thank you.
And Patricia, my name is Fwamba NC Fwamba.
Fwamba, the other thing we must say is that when you get to the King's Court, you would make a very good gesture.
No, I'm just talking about the issues that are there, things that exist, things that are tangible.
I didn't say being a jester
tangible.
I didn't say being a jester is a bad thing.
It is sometimes ridiculous because people who are considered called jesters are not objective. But whatever I'm saying here is objective based on the facts that can be seen with our eyes and things that are not just being heard. You know, if there were things being talked about but without being done or being seen to be done, then we'll have just easily declared that as propaganda. But what President William Ruto has done is tangible, and it's something that we should not interrupt in the name of an electoral cycle.
Thank you.
Fwamba, NC Fwamba.
Yes, Kidi, give us your submission.
Ask me the question.
Okay, is there a question? Just you're going to comment about what he's just talked about, because I saw you really got so.
No, I became happy about it.
I got happy when he said, when he spoke about the. Did you say the intellectual?
Because we have a PhD.
Yes,
a PhD holder as president. We have set standards. The deputy is a professor.
Yes,
and you saw the way he was. Professor Kindiki was expressing himself. He was articulating
issues that
are like at the back of his hand. Professor is a lecturer, so he has lectured, he has taught, so he understands. Professor Ogola here.
Okay.
So he understands that for you to grasp ideas at your fingertips, it means it is something that you have interacted with it directly, whether academically or otherwise.
Okay. Let's hear from
No, by the way, I wanted Kidi to respond first, but it has to take some sort of intellectual suicide to really score William Ruto that he has delivered on his promises. Because I'm looking at somebody in Ugenya, I'm looking at somebody in Migori, I'm looking at somebody in Lamu. I'm looking at how their life looks like vis-a-vis what was promised. Then I don't see this. Patricia, I'm a deputy vice chancellor in Uzima University. We have a pending bill of 4.8 billion shillings which were owed. Let me describe to you William Ruto, the president. William Ruto has 4 problems that no human being should have. One, it is true, our debt is 13 trillion. This year they are going to borrow another 1 trillion, it will be 14 trillion. That's a fact, isn't it? So I could say over-borrowing, isn't it? 2, over-taxation. Is now they are saying, they want to lower taxes. No, they have been overtaxing.
The other day, yes, about.
But they have been overtaxing. You understand me? They have been overtaxing, isn't it?
Is it Ruto or is it that because 16%
no,
VAT
taxes.
has always been there?
What happened in the finance bill? Why did people go to this on the finance bill? Overtaxation, isn't it? So let's not go here and there. So over-borrowing, overtaxing. The second thing is that this guy is also having pending bills. He's not paying people like universities, contractors, pending wages, strike of doctors, teachers, isn't it? The last thing is selling assets. He's selling Kenya Pipeline, Safaricom, and the rest. To understand this, let me describe to you, Patricia. Suppose you have a husband who is over-borrowing money. Like he tells you, our budget is 250,000 a month, let's borrow money, isn't it? To pay house help, pay driver, pay people hair for children, school fees, no. So you borrow money. Secondly, you hear that his salary has been increased, which means he's collecting more taxes, isn't it? Mshahara imepanda. The same husband borrowing, mshahara imepanda, isn't it? The same husband, hakuna mtu amelipa. Unaona kama nyumbani, house help hajalipwa, unaona? Driver hajalipwa, watoto shuleni wamefukuzwa, and the same husband is selling sofa sets, fridges, microwave. Can you live with such a husband? Now, that is what Famba is telling us they have delivered. That husband we should take back again to marry my sister must go. You understand me?
The sister is going to suffer.
Go. My sister will suffer. Just, I let you talk, my brother. Let's come back here to the issue of the issue of doing roads, isn't it? Patricia, someone taking your money to build a road should not brag for building a road for you, isn't it? What they should brag about is how they have built it, not building the road. Rironi Mau Summit is how many kilometers, isn't it? That is 74 kilometers, isn't it? How much money is being spent? They are going to spend 2.5 billion per kilometer. What are you building? Are you using gold? They are corrupting. I'm telling you, these are the facts, my brother. Go and check. I'm giving you the number of kilometers. Patricia, independently go and check. How much is being spent in Mau Summit? 214 billion, isn't it? To do 74 kilometers. Do your maths. It is corruption. So don't tell me you are building a road. Tell me that you build the road more efficiently. Then I know you are a better person, isn't it? Hizi barabara wamejenga ni ufisadi mtupu. Anything William Ruto does, he does when he has a self-interest. So I do not care telling me, ati say if your husband tells you, ati lunch amenunua, sivyo? Na sasa amenunua lunch, ametengeneza lakini amevunja vyombo kwa nyumba, glasses imevunjika, pengine amewacha gas imeenda mpaka ikeisha. So ungewacha tu atakupika tafadhali. So this is corruption. Now I want to tell my brother here something very interesting.
Which one, Kidi or Famba?
Famba. Famba, let me tell you.
Yes, bro.
I was coming from State House Road, cutting through Kilimani, Understand?
Yes.
There's place there, I won't make the name because you guys can kill these people. There's a border stage we have called Must Go. That border station is called Must Go. 3 people attended that State House thing, isn't it? They were border people. They were not aspirants. You get me? People were paid money to attend that event. According to me, those numbers are people who are mobilized to show muscle, to show numbers. No. Listen, you could be there, but I'm telling you what I'm telling you. I met 3 people who are not aspirants, and they told me they got 5,000 shillings each
5,
to go there. You understand? Some people got 10,000 shillings each to reach there. So the basic I'm trying to say here is that those people are not aspirants. Patricia, try to run for MCA. Get a party leader inviting you to State House. Ni ngumu, hakuna. Hii kitu hakuna. I'm telling you the truth. Kwanza, William Ruto has mastered something. When he was a deputy president residence was a campaign arena. Am I wrong? He met Mama Mboga there. He met Boda there. Misuse of state resources during the campaign. Now, State House is being used for campaign. Understand? Kwanza, we should go to court and stop him from doing that. Because if State House now being used for UDA, is it UDA house or State House? State House is nyumba ya manyumba. Iyo, unaona, why it's called State House? It is a house of the state. Ni nyumba ya manyumba. Hata nyumba yako imekuwa represented in State House. Sasa kama mimi si mtu wa UDA, and State House has been converted to a UDA campaign platform. That's why we have Nyayo Stadium, you can campaign there. You can go to Kasarani, you can go to Githurai, you can go to Kamukunji. Why is the president using State House for campaign? It is not fair. According to me, IBC should disqualify him for early campaigns even, because IBC should gazette the campaign program. If I'm wrong again, they'll say I'm wrong. But IBC should tell people when the campaign begins and ends. Kindiki has spent 344 million helicopters for campaign using Nyota Fund, isn't it? That's again violation of the constitution. You get me? So they are not even compliant with the law. And lastly, there's what they call self-scorecarding. A husband who tells you, I'm the best husband. I'm better than all men in this country. No. Seriously. Let me give you a small kid. Let me give another. When I was in St. Maisiala,
yes,
there's a boy whose father was from very wealthy. Just tulitoka huko mashaneni huko kugenya, hakuna kitu najua.
Yes.
But he came from a very wealthy family, and he was not very good in class. So where he got 49, he changed to 94.
Yes.
Unaona? Where he got 48, he wrote 84. Unaona? Where he got 42, he wrote 49, he wrote 94. So he was changing them in the column for marks. But the comments were remaining very poor. So 94, very poor. 96, very poor. So he took the report card to his father.
Let me just
you get?
to him. Then
when he took the report card to his father was so surprised that these teachers hate my son so much. Why his scores 94, very poor. So he said, you hate my son that his scores 94, he's very poor. William Ruto with his self-scorecarding, he is not changing the comment. Healthcare is working, must go. Education is working, must go. Nimejenga barabara, must go. Sijui nimefanya nini, must go. Nyota Fund, must go. Must go is must go. And has to go. And is going. In Jesus' name, must go. That's it.
Again,
Professor, thank you for your submission.
Again, Patricia,
yes,
I will remind you that I come on this show with no apparent political interest,
yes,
other than to seek a better country for myself and future generations. So I must say this from the outset, that in the last 3 years that this administration has been in office, let us not lie to ourselves that nothing has happened. Work has taken place, and let me remind the country of the timeless words of Theodore Roosevelt, that it is not the critic who counts, who points out where the great man has fallen, who points out how the great man should have done it. But it is a man in the arena whose face is mud with sweat and blood, who is getting stuff done. For a long time, we have spoken about SHA, for instance. As we are speaking, if you go to hospital, SHA is actually helping people pay bills. But if you call us commentators in our fine suits and fine English, we will tell you SHA is not working, especially if we have political interest. Secondly, of course, there are a few areas of challenges that still can be perfected. We will collaborate with the state actors manning those institutions to point out how they can be refined. But to say that it is not working is to mislead the entire country. I'll come to the second point. Rironi Mau Summit. The Rironi Mau Summit road is something that should have been done ages ago.
Yes.
Because I want us to first appreciate the economic value of that stretch. There is what you call the Northern Corridor, which was the LAPSET. The Rironi Mau Summit Malaba, Eldoret Malaba, or Kisumu Busia is what you call the Southern Corridor.
Mm-hmm.
That is the stretch that links us with Uganda. Let it go on record that Uganda is our biggest trading partner. So that when we are investing money in opening up that stretch to make sure that we remove the perennial traffic jam, that is something that we should not politicize. But then when we come and pluck figures from the sky and then say this and that, with an intention to demonize this project, I think that is not fair. Further and significantly, Nyota.
Mm-hmm.
Again, our brother, the professor, said as he was coming, he was driving. The only thing he didn't add is that he's actually driving an SUV whose AC never goes off.
How do you know?
Prof, you are a man of means. Unlike yours truly wears a t-shirt. So what I mean is, to people like Prof, 22,000 or 20,000 is a pocket change.
It's for lunch.
That wanakula nayo lunch. Madondo ya matajiri. 20,000 imeenda. But the same 20,000, kuna kijana pale mashinani ukimpea hiyo pesa, ameona mbingu na macho. So what we mean is that our realities might distort how we feel and respond to other people's realities. But I want to plead with all of us that some of these programs have been initiated by men. They might not be perfect, but they are a critical first step towards making sure that we respond to the needs of our people. I look at the Nyota program as a far much more intelligent social investment in comparison to the Hustler Fund. And some of us made noise about Hustler Fund. I being one of them, because I felt that Hustler Fund was not working. Hustler Fund was plagued by non-remittance of non-repayments. So when it was changed to Nyota Fund, I think we should give Nyota Fund a chance. Does that mean that all the people who receive Nyota Fund will open up thriving businesses? Certainly not. Some will collapse. Some will be learning curves. My last point, the suggestion that people earning 30,000 and below will be getting tax reprieve going forward. If I were Raila Amolo Odinga, I would have said kumepambauka, because it is the first signs that the dawn has arrived.
Mm-hmm.
These are the first cracks of dawn. So what happens is that, therefore, particularly as young people, and you know I work with young people, I lead the young people in political parties under the Interparties Youth Forum. I also helped build a bigger coalition for young people that includes even young people outside political parties under Manifesto Yetu, and you know the work we have done. So seated on this chair, I would call myself an expert on youth civic engagement. I think that we must now take advantage of the budgetary process to make sure that these provisions, these suggestions from Treasury are then factored into the finance bill. And necessary amendments are made to ensure that that help, that reprieve is felt in households. Because what will it do? It will, in a small way, ease pressure and therefore on households, and therefore avail much more resources for household spending. It is through higher household spending that you can spur local development and economic growth.
Yes.
My final point on this is that then the question is, and permit me to quote JFK, when he stands on the steps of Capitol in 1961 and says, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." With this suggestion, with this first crack of dawn, I think that therefore, again, taking advantage of a collaborative engagement with state actors, including the Treasury, I think we should suggest how things like SHA, Housing Fund, and then these other levies can either be reduced or managed better in a manner that then they do not eat into the earning of the households. I rest my case.
Okay.
Patricia.
I think that is before even you get in, because my question that I was about to ask you, KD, is about whether you believe that there is corruption in our country. Even in as much as we talk about these projects that the government is doing,
Yes.
Do you believe there is corruption? Still, corruption is a problem in our country.
Corruption exists everywhere, all over the world. But there are countries where corruption has hit crisis levels. There are countries that have attempted to rein in on corruption, especially the countries you call the Asian tigers, like Singapore, have done a fairly better job in managing corruption. And especially when you come to the Singapore story, other friends have said that Singapore story is nonsense upon stilts. As someone who has got no apparent political interest, I will come here and tell the nation that in 1929, when America was facing what historians have recorded as a Great Depression, FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, seated in a wheelchair, faced the nation and said, "There is nothing to fear except fear itself." If some of our friends who are discrediting the Singapore story were living then, they would have told Franklin Delano Roosevelt that watoto hawana chakula nyumbani. They would have said, we can't fuel our cars. They would have found 1,001 reasons to dampen the spirit of Americans. But it took the courage of FDR and his famous speech backed with actions that helped lift America out of depression. I believe that Singapore is a good political narrative that summons our collective courage and intellect towards building a better country. Over and above that call to action by the Commander-in-Chief, we must back it with other necessary common sense demands, like reminding the Commander-in-Chief that he must continue to wage comprehensive war on corruption. Permit me to say this so that I yield the floor to my brother. There was what was proposed by Treasury last year called e-government procurement. That was an intelligent suggestion to fight corruption in public procurement. Of course, it was fought left, right, and center. That is one of the areas we hope, pray, and believe, and even urge the Commander-in-Chief and CS Treasury to put their foot down, to make sure that we fight corruption in that way, but we also see more prosecution taking place by EACC doing its work. I yield the floor, but remember, I have got no apparent political interest. My brother Fwamba.
I strongly identify with the Kid Mwaga's sentiments because they are based on facts. But again, I also want to address some of the issues Professor Ogola raised, especially starting with the issue he talked about the candidates who went to State House that day, the aspirants who went to State House that day. there is no issue of public funds being used anywhere. I was there as a candidate for Member of Parliament, aspirant for Member of Parliament, Dagoretti
And
North.
he was denying he was not a UDA. You say,
I was there. I was there.
Now you can confirm, Patricia.
I was there. I said I'm not an UDA official. I was there, and the basis of getting there was proper vetting of every person who entered the state house that day, and it was based on application that was done. That the people who are running for the gubernatorial seats paid 10,000 shillings to go there. Whoever wanted to run for president under UDA in 2027 was to pay 100,000 to attend that function. Whoever was running for Member of Parliament, 5,000. Senator, 5,000. Those ones running for MCA position paid 2,000 shillings. And that must have been what catered for the tea that we took there. Then, so we should not put propaganda on everything. Yeah. So for other people who are on the streets telling you they attended and they not, those were rumormongers, because there was no way someone will get to that place without that kind of vetting. So we must always separate facts from propaganda and falsehoods.
Okay.
Something else I want to say, that maybe Professor Ogola is not updated about latest developments. You see, Article 201 of the Constitution of Kenya talks about the principles of public finance. And amongst them, it addresses the issue of taxation, that Kenyans will share taxes, tax burden fairly. And the opportunities in terms of public finance should be equitable to all Kenyans. And for that reason, there's a development that has happened in this country that has never happened before. That the issue of taxation, if there were people who had even nicknamed the President Zakayo, listen to this, they realized that they were mistaken, because instead of raising the taxes they were anticipating, it was announced on that day, and I think the minister, the CS for Finance, Mbadi, had also announced earlier that Kenyans earning less than 30,000, in the principle of equity, those ones earning less than 30,000 are no longer going to be taxed in this country. And at the same time, while the taxes are being reduced for the lower earners in the country, those who earn less in the country, there's also an opportunity for us to continue with our developmental agenda, that we are no longer going to be a hand-to-mouth kind of country. And that's why in 2025, around December, we passed the Government Enterprises Fund Act of 2025, which puts in effect an opportunity for us to have the Sovereign Wealth Fund and the Infrastructure Fund to be raised, so that it helps us to expand our infrastructure without raiding the pockets of the taxpayer and without necessarily burdening those ones who earn less money in terms of income. And how is this being done? There's also an opportunity for Kenyans. Previously, we heard of all these high-profile companies, parastatals, being like mysterious institutions. Remember those days they were using the privatization fund or something. But right now, the money is going to be accountable under the two establishments that the president has put in place, so that the money that is raised through the IPOs of like Kenya Pipeline and other institutions is still going to benefit Kenyans directly, because that's what will give the contribution to the infrastructure fund that is targeted to be at 5 trillion. The other benefit that we have right now, you've talked about the 5 billion reserves, dollar reserves at the central bank by the time the president was taking power in 2022. But right now, we can be able to do business internationally in a better manner, because our dollar reserves are now at $12 billion, I mean. So that's the kind of progress that people don't want to talk about. They want to focus on the negativities instead of seeing the kind of really practical changes that has been initiated by this government. Of course, by the way, it must be known that some of us were opposing President William Ruto in 2022 because we were not so much in line or never understood the kind of agenda that he had. But seeing what he has done so far, we realize that those people who voted for him in 2020 were very wise, because they made the right decision to have President William Ruto to become the president at the right time when the country needed such a leader that much. Therefore, it is our duty and responsibility to ensure that we talk to all other friends or all other people who are willing to vote, to take part in the democratic processes of this country, to ensure that there's stability and there's continuity by in 2027 ensuring that the president completes his 10-year tenure. Then from there we get someone else who has the right brain and who has the right focus to build and develop the agenda that has already been established, so that there's continuity in terms of progress.
Okay.
If we interfere with that program, we'll be affecting our country negatively and we'll be suppressing our developmental trajectory that has been initiated by President William Ruto.
Okay, before I get back to Professor, there's somebody on the line, yes, on our Google Meet, called Linus Okite. He says he wants to contribute.
Okite is a brilliant guy.
Okay, Okite, we are here listening.
So I want to give him the opportunity to also say something, to contribute before we come back to Professor. Yes, Okite, Linus.
Thank you very much, Kisha.
Yes, Karibu.
I wanted to make a question on the matter of taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and particularly what the conversation is ongoing. President Ruto, before he came to power, when I got my brother and he mentioning about this possible income increasing in the event that
Okite, can you please maybe get to a place whereby the network is quite clear, because we can't hear you well. Then now we can let you in again so that you can contribute. So back to Professor, as Okite sorts himself out. To Professor, I want to ask you: has this government done anything according to you?
Yeah, they have done a lot of things, but have they done what Kenyans want? You see, let me tell you what. You can have a husband who asks, has he done anything? Yes, he has done a lot of things. But has he done what you agreed on your wedding? Has he done what the husband
Patricia.
Let me tell you what, Patricia. I'm an economist.
Yes.
And in God we trust, the rest bring data.
Mm-hmm.
Collecting taxes, he has collected taxes. Has he put them in the right places? No. Isn't it? They are talking about SHA.
Mm-hmm.
I have sat in the board of the Catholic Church for 17 years, overseeing 63 health facilities. St. Francis in Kasarani,
Mm-hmm.
St. Michael's Otiende in Langata, isn't it? Marta Hospital right here, isn't it? Martia Hospital in Thika, Nazareth in Kiambu. These people are just speaking SHA, isn't it? Have they sat in the board and known that SHA is the biggest data in all hospitals, private, public, and faith-based? They don't know that?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're saying SHA is working. It's working because they are too young to get sick, isn't it? For the older people who need diabetic treatment, who need dialysis, these people do not know what they are talking about, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
SHA is not working. I also have to report to you, Patricia.
But I think, Patricia, Prof is not in order to
No,
suggest.
no.
Prof, permit me to interject respectfully, sir.
Yes.
I think Prof is not in order to come and suggest that we do not know what we are saying. We are speaking from experience.
No.
And let me tell
Patricia,
you this.
Patricia,
no, Prof.
between somebody
Prof, in 30
who
seconds.
is sitting-
No, wait a minute.
Prof, in 30 seconds.
Both of you.
But you cannot declare that SHA is not
Both
working.
of
Allow
you.
them
In
to
a blanket,
talk.
man.
Now,
Yeah,
me,
no.
I
So
have to be
he
interjected.
is responding to the question
Yes.
whether the government has done anything,
Yes.
because Kidi, you have said
But he's out of order to suggest that we do not know what we are talking about.
Wait a minute, because you say the government has really done
Why-
good work.
why-
Yes.
Yes,
why-
so I want to hear
Why he
from
doesn't
him.
know,
It cannot
Patricia,
be to the levels that I
Patricia,
expected,
listen
but
to
it's
them.
a
They have
work in
said,
progress.
I agree with you to say, for me to say you don't know what you're speaking about might not be appropriate language, isn't it? But I'm saying, I'm speaking from someone who sits in the board, who analyze the financial statements of hospital every now and then.
Yes.
You get me? Patricia, let me now say this has never come to public. I have chaired that board for 17 years, isn't it? Recently, when I said that we are launching a card called CariMed card to replace SHA because SHA is not helping our hospital, the president intervened that I must be fired from the board of the Catholic Church. I can show you my resignation letter, isn't it? Because they are just talking. I was in Strathmore. When I said the economy is not working, the president called Strathmore to fire me from there, replace me with his son-in-law. So,
Well, because we don't have.
No, not that you don't have evidence.
Yes, we don't have that evidence.
The
so
evidence is there because who took my position? His son-in-law.
But that is not evidence enough.
There is. It's evidence because where is the coincidence I'm opposing him? Where is the coincidence that I got fired? Where the other coincidence his son-in-law replaces me? It's, you know, Patricia, let us not be insensitive. We are human beings, isn't it? We go through these things. So I'm trying to say, I sit in a board where these finances are being analyzed, isn't it? And I see them. SHA is the biggest data by amount and by age. That's the truth. So when I say it's not working, it's not working. I explained to you I explained to you the one on the road.
If Prof says it's not working,
no other alternative.
Because Patricia,
no, it's okay. Just give him time.
Patricia,
yes.
If I'm saying the truth and that I am wrong, isn't it? Why not let the bishop fire me instead of him intervening? You get me? Then I'm talking about the road. Numbers don't lie, Patricia. Go and look at your research. 200 billion to do 175 kilometers, isn't it? I don't have a problem of building the road. Actually, I want them to be built, isn't it? But at what cost? You're getting me? That is 1.4 billion per kilometer. When Raila talked about the cowboy, Raila said it should range between 85 million to 210 million per kilometer, which means the floor is 94 million. The roof is 210 million per kilometer. They are doing 1.4 billion per kilometer. Let them sit down and explain to you which kind of bricks, which kind of sand, ballast, which wheelbarrows are being used. You get me? I come now to affordable housing, which is his flagship product, isn't it? In December, the president reported that he has created 344,000 jobs in affordable housing. If I'm wrong again, let them go get their numbers, isn't it? Because they are willing to say I'm wrong, but they have no numbers. They just have the word wrong.
You are focused on fault finding.
You understand? No. I'm giving numbers, isn't it? The official statistician of the country is Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, is a government entity, isn't it?
Yes.
They reported as of between 2022 and 2025, 76,500 jobs were created in the construction sector, isn't it? Some of them being what? Private sector. So if Kenya National Bureau of Statistics says that only 76,000 jobs were created, 500, isn't it? Then the president says there are 344,000. Whom do you want to trust, Patricia? Now it's upon them to decide whom they want to trust. I come to the Nyota Fund. I have no problem of a young person receiving money. In fact, you just wanted to say it because of your propaganda, kiddie. And I'm concerned. No. You said I didn't say it's wrong for someone to receive money. I didn't say that. But let me tell you the following. One, on 16th of January, Hussein Mohammed, the State House spokesperson or in charge of communication, posted that they have given out 58,000. Is given out 50,000 to 58,000 youths in 26 counties. I can show you the post, isn't it? Now, let's do here. Nyota Fund is meant to give to people to do businesses, isn't it?
Yes.
What that means that in 26 businesses, including Makueni, Kitui, Machakos, he mentioned some of them in that tweet, in that tweet and on the Facebook profile, to give 58,000 people who have business means that in one county, there are 2,230 businesses. You get me? If you divide 58,000 divided by 26, isn't it? Every sub-county, there are 371 businesses of young people who have received the money, isn't it? Every ward is 75 businesses that have received money, isn't it? Every polling station, there is 5 jobs per polling station, isn't it? Patricia, if that is the case, can we have unemployment of youth of 60% unemployment? Let us not cheat people economically, isn't it? I'm an economist. I'm just trying to look the economic impact of having 58,000 businesses. Now, let's go to the register of companies. How many companies and register of companies? Have we done increments? So we can say, oh, I'm just using facts. Well, but my last submission on that.
Yes.
is this, Patricia. I'm an economist. Money is a medium of exchange. Sivyo, you give me a water bottle, I give you 200 bob, isn't it? When money is given without a medium of exchange, you get me? What happens? We create inflation in a country. Then we go to modify them during, central bank analysis, isn't it? How do you give these 30 billion shillings with no medium of exchange? If it is capital, there is no return of capital. There is return on capital, isn't it? That's why it was important to use the proper channel. That's why I was against the Hustler Fund, isn't it? Have you seen the Hustler businesses we are talking about? A boda was supposed to own a matatu, then own a bus, then own a plane, isn't it? We haven't seen these things happening. And I am so sad that young people are buying propaganda which have no basis. And I want to tell Kidi,
yes.
You said, and this is your statement, that you agreed there's corruption in Kenya.
Yes.
Then you agreed that EACC should kill corruption, isn't it?
Yes.
I have taken a petition to the Senate.
Yes.
And I documented how we have lost 6.7 trillion to corruption since independence.
Yes.
You get me? During Kenyatta Senior, we lost 200 billion to corruption. Under Moi, we lost 1.4 trillion to corruption in 24 years. Under Kibaki, we lost 610 billion to corruption. I put this document with evidence before the Senate. It was received by Dan Manzo. I can show you evidence, isn't it? Under Uhuru Kenyatta, we lost 608 billion shillings to corruption.
Very good.
Under William Ruto, in 3 years, we lost 3.7 trillion to corruption. These statistics at EACC, you get me? Yet EACC, which was formed in 2010, isn't it, has only recovered 38 billion. Actually 28 billion. You understand? Now, what is sad about EACC, when I become president, on day one, I will shut down EACC. Do you know why? Since EACC was formed, Patricia, these numbers don't lie. Go and look at EACC budget per year. They are normally given.
That was your last submission because I need to respond.
They're always given, that's the last submission. They're always given 3.9 billion per year to run their offices, isn't it? So times 15, that is 58 billion they have spent to recover 28 billion. But now EACC is a washing machine. That's why EACC is close to State House. Then every thief. No.
Are you trying to say that all this money that has been stolen since Kenyatta's time has been?
No, I'm just giving. Let me finish.
Okay, let's
finish.
do this.
Stopping.
Yes.
I'm finishing.
Yes.
Everybody who gets elected, from president to MCA, is cleared by EACC. Why do we still have corruption? Any state officer, whether it's a PS, whether it's CS, whatever, is passed by EACC. And EACC is clearing thieves. Then what is his use really?
Well, I think once the EACC, if it is clearing someone, a minute please, is maybe the person is not corrupt before they get in.
No.
So whatever happens, and again, let me first of all, guys, let me allow Okite to say something so that now you can take over because we have 7 minutes remaining.
For me, I'm done. I don't need a mic.
Okite.
Now clear.
You can now speak.
Yeah, I just wanted to chime in very quickly on two things.
Yes.
First, on the question of taxation, I think President Ruto, we have to call a spade a spade. President Ruto created a problem, and now he purports to solve it. So if you look at the payslip comparison from an accounting perspective of the person, say, earning 30,000 in 2022 as Ruto was taking power, versus what it is going to be even after scrapping off the 30%, then you still realize that President Ruto has actually even, in fact, made that person have even more burden. Okay? That is purely from an accounting perspective, because if you look at the payee at the 2 times, you look at the NSSF rates at 2022 versus what it is today, you look at the health sector, that is the NHIF versus the SHA today, Then you look at the question of house levy. These are still all the contents of the pay slip. Do all that computation, we are still going to have the person earning less than they were earning in 2022. So that in that particular respect, I think President Ruto is lying to the country. Second, I just want to say this, that the challenge we are having with President Ruto is that there is a lot of lies around what he's doing. And that is not good for the country. There is goodwill, I think, on his side. And for the first time in a long time, we have seen a president who has actually also has the money, projects flowing in. But the problem with it is he invests in what we call, in economics, we call them tertiary level projects. So that when you look at, for example, investing billions of money in a stadium, you look at the rate of return in terms of job creation and value chain creation, it is very little. He's investing in airstrips. He's investing in distribution of money. Actually, Hustler Fund and Nyota Fund is simple distribution of money. But when you look at the real mechanics of economics, we should be actually production. He's doing very poorly.
Prof, why you look at me?
Okay, thank you.
Linus, you're the man.
Thank you, Linus.
Finally, I wanted to say this.
Yes.
I think Professor Gola, there is something that Professor Gola has against President Ruto, and I think it's very important that even if he is running for presidency, you should get emotions out of it. I think it's very important that you discuss things from a very neutral perspective, in that the country will be able to listen, as opposed to how it comes out from an emotional perspective. I don't think if it comes out very nicely. So I think just try to discern the two areas, and we will be able to listen to you. We are really willing to listen to professionals who are able to take us to the next level. But
Linus, that's a good advice. Thank you. That's a very good advice, Linus.
Thank you, Linus. So the people in the studio, my guest in the studio, my special guest in the studio, we only have 3 minutes. So I'm giving you each and every one of you 50 seconds.
Prof doesn't need a minute. He had put the mic.
So
he had finished. Prof had finished.
I'm done.
It's okay. So 1 so that we finish.
We need to appreciate the fact that since President Ruto took over, he's tried to balance a lot of issues, especially based on the challenges of COVID, for example, that he had interfered with all the supply chains all over the world. So each country has had to be very creative to organize itself. And for him to steady the ship to get to where we are today, he has really tried. And remember, he started with subsidizing production as opposed to subsidizing consumption, which has been the case previously. And you saw the farm inputs, like fertilizer, which was going at 7,500, was now going at 2,500. And that has really given a boost to agriculture in terms of food production, which is a key element in terms of development in this country. So those are some of the key important things that we need to look at, as opposed to being negative all through and through. At least at some point where I agree with the Professor Ogola is the issue of EACC. EACC has really let Kenyans down, because if we were to fight corruption in a very serious manner, then we'll have been able to save a lot of money. And I think there should be mechanisms, and Parliament playing its oversight role should take up the responsibility of ensuring that EACC does its work effectively.
Yes. Your 1 minute, Kidi.
So I appreciate what Okite and Prof have said. It falls within what I would call lamentations. Why do I call them lamentations? Because life is not a morality tale. When you are in Sunday school, you are told that, okay, if you pick 50 shillings, you take wherever. In adulthood, you lose your 50 shillings. Nobody comes running after you that you lost your 50 shillings. So governance is fairly practical, as it is in practice. That sometimes we don't follow these nice theories that our friends have. We have, for instance, praised President Kibaki as the biggest thing that happened this sides of the tropics. Some of the problems we are grappling with are as a consequence of the policy of see nothing, do nothing that we experienced under President Kibaki.
Like tribalism.
As I conclude, again, I want to tell my brother professor here that he speaks very well. But again, as my brother Okite has advised you, remember this. There is a story of the boy who used to cry in the field that there is a wolf, until the day when there was a wolf, no villager came to save him. losing a job is a painful thing. But the way you casually drag the president's name into it, you are going to lose the job you are doing as a DVC, as Deputy Vice Chancellor, and nobody will come to save you. Thank you.
I think that one I need to respond. Why I went to explain to them, I went in there because I was telling them that I know that these numbers are not mathing. I had to go deep to explain to you. I have nothing with Ruto.
Okay.
In fact, I'm better off than when he fired me.
Okay, thank you.
In fact, I thank God he did it, because this is going to be, my career has become better. In fact, I can tell you, Patricia, what has made me is the crisis I've gone through. When you go through crisis and God believes in you, God gives you crisis you can turn around into gold.
Thank you.
And I'm here because of those crises. I'm very proud to have gone through them. And I'm just concerned that you don't appreciate they happen, but
Okay.
I don't mind.
So I think no. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's finish.
Brought here are not updated.
Yes, so that's what I'm saying.
And again, I would like to look at the footnotes of his petition.
Okay, it's okay. That one you will check.
Backed by evidence or
But up to this,
they are in the Senate.
up to this moment, I think you are not getting personal. It was just about the conversation right here. Yes. Yeah, it's about the conversation right
We
here.
will authenticate his footnotes.
Yeah, so thank you so much, guys, for coming. Thank you also to the viewers also and the listeners, the likes of Kina Emmanuel. Thank you so much for contributing and participating in this conversation. Thank you to everyone who